Chapter 2027, Dialogue. Prince Qin looked at the gigantic foot, which contained a foreboding qi. He had read about things like this in books he had found in the Qin dynasty, and the Qin dynasty used some techniques which used such a qi. Prince Qin stretched out his hand and tried to take the foot into his ring. However, the foot didn't move. It was too gigantic and heavy. He glanced around, they could still hear the music a little bit. The others were stupefied when they saw that Prince Qin couldn't take the foot. In the distance, they heard the wind whistling of something moving quickly, and then they saw Lin Feng. Lin Feng was borrowing the strength of the valley to weaken the soul chasing him. He was startled when he saw Ji Chang and the others in front of him. Lin Feng. Ji Chang's eyes twinkled. He slowly rose up into the air and his qi rolled out towards Lin Feng. "Piss off," said Lin Feng icily. Ji Chang grunted icily and punched out. His punch contained destructive Tao. It was every bit as oppressive as before, smashing into Lin Feng's sword energies. However, even though the earth and sky seemed about to collapse, Lin Feng's sword continued slashing forwards. Cyan dragon totems appeared, and Ji Chang condensed more destructive Tao. Lin Feng countered by taking out a talisman and continued moving towards Ji Chang. "Die!" Ji Chang shouted furiously, thunder rolling with the force of his attack. Lin Feng had the sensation his brain was going to explode. Lin Feng broke another talisman at that moment and disappeared. Terrifying energies shrieked. Ji Chang's soul trembled as he saw the gigantic soul spear. It had weakened a lot, but it was still terrifying, everything turning black around it. Bastard! Saint Tianhun was furious. He realized he couldn't capture Lin Feng anymore. The spear altered course towards Ji Chang and suddenly Ji Chang realized he was in grave danger. Lin Feng. Ji Chang hated Lin Feng. He had failed to harm him, and the spear which had been chasing Lin Feng was now shooting towards him. He released cyan dragon totems which turned into a gigantic dragon. Destructive Tao filled the air around him as well, rumbling and exploding as it fought against the advance of the spear. The spear continued moving towards his head. It wasn't as powerful as before, but was still moving. After breaking the talisman, Lin Feng appeared above the foot. World strength appeared and surrounded the foot. Prince Qin looked at the foot, only to see it disappear in front of him. Only a silhouette remained. Ji Chang was smashed towards Prince Qin. Prince Qin shouted furiously, slapping Ji Chang away hard. Ji Chang coughed up blood and his face turned deathly pale. Prince Qin raced after Lin Feng. Yin Gu Tian and Hekan were astonished and looked at the blood on the ground. Ji Chang was badly injured. Poor Ji Chang. Thought Yin Gu Tian. Prince Qin had seen Lin Feng steal the big foot, then they had only heard the moaning of the wind. He was so furious, he had attacked Ji Chang and injured him. Ji Chang stood up, shaking violently, and furious beyond measure. Arg! Ji Chang shouted violently, like an animal, he immediately attacked one of Prince Qin's guards. The guard was stunned. However, Ji Chang was lucky he was a champion, as even if that guard was strong, he couldn't do anything against Ji Chang. At that moment, Ji Chang was really furious, he released destructive Tao which exploded out. The enemy's veins exploded. Ji Chang then smashed his face, and the guard's head exploded, blood gushed out and pieces of brain splashing everywhere. The two other guards pulled a long face. They stared at Ji Chang icily. Ji Chang was humiliating Prince Qin. Ji Chang promptly attacked them and crushed them. Yin Gu Tian and Hekan gulped when they saw that. They were now frightened of Ji Chang. He was a champion. Even though he had been defeated by Lin Feng and Chu Chun Chiu, he was still a genius, and a high-level genius at that. Lin Feng continued flying across the valley. The music was getting louder and louder. Maybe he was going to bump into an enchained creature. He suddenly felt strength building beneath him, strong enough to kill. He shivered, and the invisible and intangible strength passed under his feet. Lin Feng felt very cold. More strength rose up in the air in front of him. Another huge foot appeared in front of Lin Feng. More strength emerged from it, it was extremely formidable. I got the left foot, now there's the right foot. Do they belong to a saint? Thought the stunned Lin Feng. He was very vigilant, as he could still hear the music. However, Lin Feng still landed at the base of the foot. He tried to lift it with raw strength, but it was extremely heavy. He could only make it shake a little bit. If I don't use the world of my spirit, I can't take it, thought Lin Feng. He released his spirit world strength, it surrounded the foot, and whisked it away. The song continued about him. The sound waves looked like a deadly river, strong enough to kill people. Lin Feng's face stiffened. He swiftly took out the foot again and placed it in front of him, but it was too late, the river still passed next to him. Prince Qin was chasing Lin Feng. He had also arrived, but the sound waves pierced through his ears painfully. He pulled a long face and moved back. A terrifying strength emerged in front of him as he grimaced. Energies swirled about him. He jumped aside, but more strength was converging on him. Prince Qin suddenly looked desperate and shouted furiously, "No!" The sound waves pierced through his body. His face turned gray and then he exploded, his blood flying everywhere. Scarlet blood twinkled in the sun. Lin Feng was hiding behind the foot. The scene had taken place behind him, and he had seen it all. The Chant Valley was dangerous, it was a forbidden area after all, and he was still nervous. The sound waves were not that intense thanks to the foot, otherwise, they would float far away. Lin Feng realized how terrifying the place actually was. At that moment, Lin Feng pulled a long face. He understood that if he strayed a bit too far, he'd end up like Prince Qi, and the sound waves would kill him. In the depths of the valley, an enchained silhouette appeared. At that moment, he suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were silver and he looked ferocious. "Little boy," said a voice at that moment, resonating in Lin Feng's brain. Lin Feng twitched. He remained silent and didn't hear the voice again. Lin Feng asked, "Are you talking to me?" "Indeed, little boy," said the voice. Lin Feng realized that the sound waves around him had suddenly weakened. "There's really someone there," thought Lin Feng, trying to hide his astonishment. Was it another enchained creature? "Master, how may I help you?" asked Lin Feng. The voice said, "Come and help me. You won't die here. I will also offer you a saint's body." A saint's body? Lin Feng shivered. The 2 feet really belonged to a saint, it seemed. Who was the enchained person then? How come there were so many terrifying creatures here? I already stopped the sound waves. Come. I will do what I told you. I won't deceive a little boy like you, said the voice. Lin Feng laughed at himself. He was already quite strong and someone had called him a little boy, but he really felt very small in front of such people. Lin Feng took away the foot and his silhouette flickered. He flew into the depths of the valley, wondering if he was going to see a powerful ancient creature. Chapter 2028, Dangerous Game. Ji Chang, He Can, and the others arrived outside the valley after escaping. When the music stopped, they turned around in dread. Lin Feng and Prince Qin must be both dead, said Yin Gu Tian, staring at the valley. Ji Chang said icily, if Prince Qin is dead, good for him. However, it'd be a pity if Lin Feng was dead. Ji Chang, I thought you wanted Lin Feng to die, He Can said to Ji Chang. I want to kill him myself. He's a genius, it would be a pity if he died in the valley, said Ji Chang. He almost felt sad for Lin Feng. He hated him, but Lin Feng was famous and extremely strong. Even though Ji Chang hated and had been humiliated by Lin Feng, he admired him for his talent. He hoped to fight against him again someday. If Lin Feng had just died in the valley, then it would never come to pass. At that moment, Lin Feng was traveling across the valley. Finally, he arrived in front of an enchained silhouette. His hair was messy, and his face was silver. Even though he was bound, his chi was still unbelievable. Lin Feng had the impression he was facing a king. Lin Feng looked around, and saw two gigantic hands and a gigantic cauldron. The only thing which protected the area was the music. Saint's hands. Lin Feng shivered and stared at the trapped man. Master, how may I help you? I've been waiting for so long. Little boy, you're lucky, you've obtained 2 feet, and now you can take these 2 hands and the cauldron. That way, you'll have obtained the whole body of the saint. For you, these items must be precious. The saint wasn't a mere emperor. With the body of an emperor, you just deserve to be called a cultivator. A saint's body, however, is incredible. It's the body of someone who has transcended worldliness and attained holiness, the man said to Lin Feng. Lin Feng remained silent. To this man, an emperor barely deserved the right to be called a cultivator. A saint's body was complete. Lin Feng glanced at the hands and the cauldron and looked at the strong cultivator. Does the saint's body prevent you from doing anything? Of course, it oppresses my strength. You can take it away, replied the silver-eyed cultivator. Lin Feng understood that he was too weak to negotiate. That strong cultivator just had to exhale and he could kill Lin Feng. Besides, taking the saint's body was a great thing for him. Lin Feng whisked away the hands and the cauldron. The silver-eyed cultivator raised his head and took a deep breath. He looked extremely happy. Thank you very much, little boy. Now, things should change here, said the strong cultivator. He sounded like an ancient person. He took a deep breath and suddenly, more sound waves condensed, and dashed to the skies. Come out, dear friends, said the bound man. The sound waves thrummed and echoed far away. The music could be heard everywhere in the area. Many people raised their heads after hearing the sound waves above their heads, and had the sensation they were going to collapse. How oppressive. They felt so tiny. The terrifying sound waves spread across hundreds of kilometers, and moved towards the hole in the sky. Golden pieces kept falling from the sky. A strong cultivator in the golden lights opened his eyes, the orbs shining with light. Finally, after so many years, they were recovering. The sound waves continued spreading. They moved into the black hole, it seemed about to collapse. The cultivator in the black hole raised his head, his eyes ice-cold. In the emerald green forest, the golden mountains, the ice world, the sound waves kept spreading, and all the historical remains started shaking violently. Those who were in the historical remains were shocked. The evil spirits in the historical remains also started trembling. Outside of the historical remains, many waiting emperors who were waiting gazed into the distance. Many geniuses had already died, how many more would die? How many people would obtain ancient treasures? Geniuses of every generation went to the historical remains. Many of them had the impression it wasn't worth it, but at the same time, many geniuses really wanted to try because if they obtained anything, it was something incredible. If they did, it was also great for their dynasties. The people who were waiting outside looked calm. They knew that the geniuses wouldn't come out of the historical remains that quickly. Explosions began to shake the air and interrupted the sound waves. They all opened their eyes and stared at the entrances of the historical remains. What's going on? Those just watching shivered as the thunder seemed to spread. Had a great battle started? Boom! A gigantic hole appeared in the side of the mountain, and a new world appeared. The people were astonished. Had the entities the saints sealed had just been released? What happened? Thought the shaken watchers. Quick, inform the holy emperors and the elders. Tell them to come. People were panicking. The creatures of the historical remains had surprisingly broken free. It meant that this world could also be connected to the outside world. This world has broken apart. The Holy Spirit dynasty received the news, people were trembling. It was the second astonishing thing that had happened in such a short time. The previous time was because of Lin Feng. Has it broken apart? The Tianxi dynasty also received the news. My son died, the world of the historical remains has broken apart, I really want to see what's going on inside, said a voice in the Qin dynasty. Qi Tian Holy Town started bursting into motion. All the dynasties dispatched people to the historical remains. At that moment, in the world of the historical remains, the people there were stunned. The most surprised person in the world of the historical remains was probably Lin Feng, however. His eyes were glittering. He was staring at the strength rolling through the sky. He had never thought that taking the saint's body would have such consequences. He had taken a big risk. At the broken altar, Saint Tianhun shivered. He had chased Lin Feng had gone to the valley, and now something big was happening. Was that the will of heaven? He was grim. For him, all this wasn't a good thing. He finally had the opportunity to gain a body, and in the end he failed. Chu Chun Chiu killed another strong cultivator at that moment, and then the ground started shaking. He sighed, knowing it wouldn't be easy to kill more people now. Otherwise, everybody would attack him. He recalled his qi, and the sense of evil about him faded away. He knew that if he wasn't discreet, people wouldn't be nice to him. He also knew that after breaking through to the Di-Qi layer, things would get easier. He had not managed to absorb a king-type body yet. Some new people started coming into the world of the historical remains, and very quickly they bumped into geniuses who told them the news. A strong cultivator landed on the ground and asked, "What happened? Have the saints appeared? We don't know. We haven't seen the historical remains. We only saw a skeleton, which was taken by Lin Feng. Then, we ended up in a dark hole and there was a terrifying demon within, it might have been a saint. Bring me to the demon in the dark hole," ordered the leader of the new group. By the time they arrived, the black hole had already exploded, turning into a gigantic crater. The terrifying demon raised his head and looked up at the myceli. Chapter 2029, Saint's Body. When the group saw the Demon King's eyes, they were terrified. Who was that? They couldn't even see this cultivator's cultivation level. Arg! The terrifying monster roared in a thundering rage. A gigantic black hand appeared above him. Let's go. The strong cultivators shot up into the sky, lights glittered. However, grinding explosions threw back their power. The stronger cultivators made some hand seals. Phew! A loud sound emerged from the gigantic crater, and a black light surrounded the group of people. An elder's face turned deathly pale and he waved, "Let's go." The group of people quickly fled. In a distant place, the group of people gathered with some others, all of them pulling a long face. What's going on? Why are those enchained cultivators so strong? They just have to exhale, and even their breath contains a terrifying strength. And are there more there? Like in the books, the Demon King of the Dark Abysses, Chant Mountain, the death-forbidden area, if those people break free, they might destroy Qi Tian Holy Town, but who are they? They are not saints. I just want to know what really happened back then, the behind-the-scenes story. And where are the saints? Where are the saints? They all looked around. Were the saints still alive? The voices spread far away. The evil spirits didn't dare come out, all rushing towards the altar. Saint Tianhun was there, his eyes gleaming. The Celestial Soul Dynasty doesn't exist anymore, nobody listens to my orders, muttered Saint Tianhun. He wasn't as strong as in the past anymore, and his descendants had been killed. If other dynasties knew he existed, they wouldn't listen to his orders, they had to cooperate with one another. Now, he needed a body, like the little boy who had tried to kill him. He took a deep breath. The evil spirits looked scared. However, they couldn't stop Saint Tianhun. They existed thanks to him. They absorbed people to become stronger. If Saint Tianhun absorbed them, they wouldn't be able to resist. Many evil spirits were drawn toward Saint Tianhun, and he started absorbing them quickly. His qi became more and more powerful. The old man was still next to him, on his knees. He looked solemn and respectful. He was the strongest evil spirit. He had absorbed many spirits and people. His body even looked real, and his mental abilities were advanced. Even Lin Feng had thought he was a real human being. However, if Saint Tianhun wanted to absorb him, he couldn't do anything about it either. More people arrived in the distance. Some people landed in front of the altar, watching Saint Tianhun as he absorbed all the spirits. After a short time, Saint Tianhun had absorbed all the spirits except the old man. Saint Tianhun opened his eyes and looked at the people who had arrived. "If we were in the old days, you wouldn't dare do that. I'd slap you and you'd die," said Saint Tianhun icily. The holy emperor of the Qin dynasty was astonished. "How arrogant, who are you?" Saint Tianhun. The holy emperor of the Qin dynasty was astonished. He looked at the old man and at Saint Tianhun. "Impossible. The saints fell during the battle of the old days and sealed this world. How could you be a saint?" "Your qi is so weak," said the holy emperor of the Qin dynasty icily. "You're a holy great emperor, you know how difficult it is to kill people like you, almost impossible. But us saints, even if we only have a drop of blood left, or a small thread of soul, a small thread of vitality and will, we can come back to life. To kill a saint, you need to attack their soul and make it explode into a million pieces. It is almost impossible, and not all the saints died during the war. In the end, there must always be someone left." "Did you think all the saints had died?" asked Saint Tianhun. The holy emperor of the Qin dynasty was stupefied. He had also had doubts about that in the past. Saint Tianhun's explanation made sense. "Can you prove you're a saint?" the holy emperor of the Qin dynasty pressed. "Look carefully," said Saint Tianhun. A light penetrated into the holy emperor of the Qin dynasty's third eye. He saw the memories, and was astonished. Some saints were still alive. The holy emperor of the Qin dynasty was confused. There were saints, but they weren't as strong as in the past. "Get down," shouted the holy emperor explosively. He had landed on a pillar, but now he jumped off it, landing on the ground and bowing before Saint Tianhun. "I'm Qin Gan from the Qin dynasty. A pleasure to meet you, Saint Tianhun." "All right," Saint Tianhun nodded. Qin Gan continued, "Saint Tianhun, you must feel lonely here. You are one of our ancestors. Since you were a saint of the ancient dynasty, please come to the Qin dynasty if you wish." "Huh, you're right, brother Qi Gan. Qi Tian holy town is made of dynasties which used to be one in the old days. Since Saint Tianhun is from the old days, he's also an ancestor for the Great Desert Dynasty. You can come and rest in the Great Desert Dynasty if you wish. We will do all we can to help you," said the holy emperor of the Great Desert Dynasty who had just arrived. Mo Xiao. Qin Gan's eyes glittered. A saint was still alive. He wasn't strong yet, so everybody wanted to recruit him. Saint Tianhuan's eyes twinkled and he said, "I'm badly injured. I need a body. Help me find a perfect body, a cultivator of the top of the Huang Qi layer. I liked one, but unfortunately he went to Chant Valley. I don't know whether he's alive or not," said Saint Tianhun. He waved his hand and Lin Feng's image appeared. Qin Gan and Mo Xiao's eyes glittered. "Lin Feng. I'll dispatch people to look for him." Qin Gan waved and people's silhouettes flickered. They immediately left to go and search for people. The holy emperor of the Great Desert Dynasty didn't want to seem weaker, he also dispatched people. They didn't leave to search themselves, opting to stay here. Saint Tianhun closed his eyes. He looked detached from worldly affairs. He knew why those people were staying here. Master, are there other saints left alive? Asked Qin Gan. I'm not sure. Even if they're not dead, even if some of them are still alive, they must be as strong as me or almost dead. Have you seen the evil spirits? They're really strong. They sealed this world, said Saint Tianhun calmly. The two holy emperors' hearts quickened. Ancient evil spirits. Lin Feng had already left Chant Valley, and was some distance away. Now and then, he saw some strong cultivators. He had taken big risks. The passages between this world and the world outside were surprisingly open now. The soundwave strength was truly terrifying. People were astonished. Lin Feng arrived at a mountain range. He found a cave, entered, and sat down cross-legged. He released spirit strength, which surrounded him as he entered his small world. Lin Feng was stunned when he arrived. According to the enchained cultivator, the cauldron was the saint's body. It had just transformed. The 2 feet and hands were with the cauldron there and were connected. He had obtained the whole body. The strong cultivator hadn't fooled him. Lin Feng was standing in front of a gigantic saint's body. The qi around it was awe-inspiring. His physical body reacted on its own. Lin Feng shivered. He had put that body in his small world, and in there, it had turned into a full and intact body. The pressure around it was dreadful. The saints who had fallen were all incredibly strong. Saint Tianhun is also a saint, but his body is weaker. Maybe that Saint Tianhun died and then came back to life. Wondered Lin Feng. After all, Saint Tianhun controlled soul strength. Lin Feng walked up to the body, so gigantic and spectacular. He uttered in a low voice, "Master, are you still conscious?" If he had no consciousness anymore, how could he have turned into a full body? How could he oppress the Peerless demon music? Phew, the saint sighed. Lin Feng trembled, staring at the gigantic saint. Did the saint still have a consciousness? Chapter 20:30, Saint's Awareness. Lin Feng looked at the gigantic body, his heart pounding. The body might still had a thread of consciousness. After all, even broken into pieces, he had still been able to nullify the soundwave strength. He must know a terrifying oppressive strength, muttered Lin Feng. Even when his body was divided into several pieces, it still had an incredible power. Ancient saints were indeed astonishingly strong. Lin Feng wondered how strong the enchained demon was. What had happened back then, during the Great War? Master, I will put my godly awareness in your brain. If you are conscious, please don't blame me, whispered Lin Feng. Could the saint hear him? Lin Feng's godly awareness moved towards the saint's third eye and penetrated into his brain. Suddenly, a terrifying strength appeared and surrounded his godly awareness. Lin Feng could only freeze. He had the impression his soul was being sucked in, and his consciousness was being oppressed. He couldn't resist. He really is conscious, thought Lin Feng. His heart was pounding. A terrifying godly awareness strength rotated and turned into an illusionary body. Master. Lin Feng looked at the hologram. He felt tiny. Phew, the saint sighed again. I thought I'd stay in Chant Valley forever, I wouldn't have thought someone would come and take it. Little boy, you've brought a disaster. Lin Feng shivered and said, Master, you're a saint from the Qi Tian dynasty. Indeed, my name is Qin Shan. I was one of the saints back in the days. Qin dynasty, an ancestor of the Qin dynasty? Thought Lin Feng. He wasn't sure. He asked, Master, what are the enchained people? You used your life to protect Chant Valley. That was a disaster back then. We wouldn't have all fallen otherwise. I don't know how many of the saints are still alive. The enchained people are extremely dangerous, that's all you need to know. Back in the days, if we hadn't been too greedy, things could have happened differently. So many things have happened. The chains have become weaker and weaker with time, and they became stronger again. They will soon all break free. The Qi Tian dynasty will be destroyed. The Qi Tian dynasty doesn't exist anymore. It has divided into many different dynasties. Now, all the dynasties are gathered in a city called Qi Tian Holy Town, said Lin Feng. The saint remained silent for a few seconds and said, I am not surprised. We were so greedy that our descendants divided. Little boy, are there saints in Qi Tian Holy Town nowadays? In Qi Tian Holy Town, the holy emperors of the dynasties are rulers. They are not saints. I don't know whether they still have saints, actually. But even if they do, they probably only have one or two. Otherwise, they would not have sent young people to the sealed world to look for your historical remains. It's a disaster. When the chains break, Qi Tian Holy Town will be destroyed, Saint Qin Shan sighed. Where are we now? We're in my spirit world, said Lin Feng honestly. He didn't need to lie. The saint couldn't even control his own body anymore. Spirit world. The saint was surprised and said, I wouldn't have thought I wouldn't be able to control my body anymore. I only have a thread of consciousness left, and I am so weak. My consciousness will never disperse. Since you're so talented, I will give you some things. I created some ancient holy techniques, they can destroy the strength of the 10,000 things of creation. They are an ancient strength. Without a body, they can be used to create the shape of the 10,000 things of creation. I will transmit them to you, just learn what you can. After that, some memories penetrated into Lin Feng's godly awareness, and he suddenly had the knowledge of the ancient holy techniques in his brain. Lin Feng visualized an ancient world, it looked awesome. Nobody could resist the power of the ancient holy techniques. He also visualized an invisible and intangible strength, it was a sort of intent and a sort of force at the same time. It could be used to give a shape to things, dragons, elephants, lions, phoenixes, great rocks, cauldrons, ancient bells, as long as it was a solid shape, it worked. It could also be used to oppress people's consciousness. Ancient cultivators didn't receive skills and techniques directly. They would only transmit the rudiments, Lin Feng realized. It was incredible to receive them directly from a saint, because the inheritances were the original core versions. If they were transmitted from generation to generation, they changed over time. No wonder the Holy Spirit dynasty's ancestor had transmitted the images of the Great War to Lin Feng. For saints, such things were incredible treasures. After a long time, Lin Feng opened his eyes and asked, Master, saints' skill, techniques and spells formed one entity? Saints have transcended worldliness and attained holiness. Saints forget everything about their past. They create their own strength, their own reality. Skills and techniques are all spells for peerless cultivators. Someday, when you become a saint, remember to forget everything about your past. Thank you very much, Master, for everything you're teaching me. What can I do to help you come back to life? Asked Lin Feng. He was touched. Saints can't be destroyed. Their bodies can't decompose. I don't have a mind anymore, I only have a thread of consciousness. Unless you find a peerless medicine cultivator, I don't think I can come back to life. You're kind to think about me, though. Someday, when you reach the clouds, if Qi Tian Holy Town faces a fatal disaster, I would be happy if you could take assistive measures. Back then, the dynasty was prosperous, but because of us, things changed. I don't want it to disappear, though. I will remember that, replied Lin Feng. A peerless doctor, were there such cultivators? Besides, if you are in danger, you can use my body, I will help you. However, there won't be many cases where you'll need my help, I would guess. Otherwise, I will disappear, the saint sighed. Even though he only had a thread of consciousness left, he didn't want to die. He knew it would be difficult to come back to life, but he still hoped. If I were in danger, I wouldn't dare use your body, said Lin Feng respectfully. The saint sighed, and his godly awareness left Lin Feng's mind. Lin Feng opened his eyes. He looked at the body, having the impression he had just had a powerful dream. I wouldn't have thought that this body would be so incredible, thought Lin Feng. He left his spirit and continued traveling. With my current strength, I can't find a peerless doctor. I wonder whether the Qin dynasty could find one or not, thought Lin Feng. He was annoyed because the saint hoped he could have good relations with the Qin dynasty, but the prince of the Qin dynasty had died in Chant Valley. Ji Chang and the members of the He clan had seen that. If they informed the Qin dynasty of that, they would probably say that Lin Feng had killed him. Lin Feng continued moving onwards. Finally, he saw other people gathered. Ji Chang was among them and saw Lin Feng. He was stupefied. Lin Feng hadn't died. How had he resisted the sound waves in the valley? The Tianxi dynasty's holy emperor was stupefied, landing before Lin Feng and saying, "Lin Feng, you're still alive." Lin Feng felt bad. But when he saw Ji Chang, he understood what was going on. He nodded and said, "I was lucky." Lin Feng, said a voice icily at that moment. A few strong cultivators released a terrifying qi and landed in front of Lin Feng. "Holy Emperor, Lin Feng stole our ancestor's body, our prince followed him and died tragically. I hope you can make Lin Feng give us the body back," said a strong cultivator of the Qin dynasty, staring icily at Lin Feng. "In the mysterious world, people hunt treasures, it's normal. Your prince died in the valley, so what? It has nothing to do with Lin Feng." "Don't talk to me about that again," rebutted the holy emperor of the Tianxi dynasty. Lin Feng looked at him and said, "Prince Qin couldn't take the body, I only took it afterwards. He chased me and some kind of sound wave killed him. I'm quite sorry. I can't give you the big feat, but I am willing to come to the Qin dynasty at some point to tell you more." Lin Feng had taken their ancestor, after all. He wanted to have good relations with them. He wanted to help the saint come back to life too. If the Qin dynasty could help him, he would be happy. However, the cultivator didn't want to accept Lin Feng's apologies and said icily, "Come with me and we'll talk about it." "Lin Feng, don't go now. They want to steal your body," the holy emperor of the Tianxi dynasty told Lin Feng hastily. "Steal his body? Humph. Holy Emperor, it's for our ancestor." "You are going against our ancestor's will?" demanded the Qin speaker icily. "Ancestor's will? Bullshit. Saint Tianhun is not the ancestor of the Tianxi dynasty. We don't even know whether he's telling the truth or not," retorted the holy emperor of the Tianxi dynasty. "Don't forget that Mr. Shiju will get furious if you steal Lin Feng's body," added the Tianxi holy emperor. They had different opinions when it came to Saint Tianhun. And if a saint rose in one of the dynasties, they would be able to control all the others. Lin Feng's eyes glittered. Saint Tianhun wanted to steal his body and some people wanted to help him. Fine, then. Qin Shan was Qin Shan, the Qin dynasty was the Qin dynasty. Lin Feng wouldn't try to be nice to them anymore. Chapter 2031, Holy Emperors Under Pressure. Holy Emperor, whatever you say, all the holy emperors want to see Lin Feng. If you want to protect him, let him go and see Saint Tianhun first, said the cultivator of the Qin dynasty indifferently. Humph. Impossible, said the Tianxi holy emperor, rolling up his sleeves. However, at that moment, two people landed and looked at Lin Feng. They smiled and said, "There's a saint here, since there's a saint in the historical remains and he wants to see Lin Feng, he must see him." "What does that have to do with you?" asked the Tianxi holy emperor, glancing at that person icily. That person was also a holy emperor. "Saints are our ancestors. We must respect our ancestors," the other replied indifferently. Lin Feng looked at the crowd coldly. Saint Tianhun truly was a saint after all, otherwise these people wouldn't have tried to cooperate with him. They wanted to give the saint a body to make him happy and also make their dynasties strong again. "I'll come with you," said Lin Feng calmly. The Tianxi Holy Emperor was stupefied and said, "Lin Feng, you can't, don't worry, Holy Emperor. That guy with one foot in the grave doesn't even have a body." "We'll see what kind of saint that is," said Lin Feng, rolling up his sleeves and flying in Saint Tianhuan's direction. The crowd there closely followed behind him, thinking how brave he was. Saint Tianhun wanted to steal his body and surprisingly, he took the initiative to go. He was truly acting recklessly. The holy emperors of the Great Desert and Qin dynasties were still there. Many other people had gathered there and were looking into the distance. "Saint Lin Feng is here." They smiled. Saint Tianhun watched Lin Feng in the group of people arrive, his eyes glittering. Surprisingly, the one he wanted hadn't died, everything was perfect. Lin Feng's body was perfect. He was convinced that with Lin Feng's body, he'd managed to regain the strength he had as a saint. After Lin Feng arrived, he stood up in the air and said to everybody, "Greetings, holy emperors, greetings Mr. "Greetings Saint Lin Feng," replied the Qin Holy Emperor indifferently. "Saint." Lin Feng looked at Saint Tianhun and smiled. His cultivation level is so low that the Tianxi Holy Emperor could destroy him in one slap. Is he a saint too? "Insolent," shouted the Qin Holy Emperor furiously. He said icily, "The saints sealed the evil spirits, he was injured because of that. Now, Saint Tianhun is interested in your body, that's an honor for you. You can give your body to a saint, how wonderful is that? Is that so? So why don't you cherish that opportunity and give one of your descendants' bodies to the saint, then," replied Lin Feng, smiling coldly. "Saint Tianhun likes your body, it's an honor for you." An oppressive strength surrounded Lin Feng. Lin Feng laughed and said, "So if someone wants my body, they can take it if you wish. You think you can decide what I have to do with my life or not? You really respect the saints. Of course, the saints sealed the evil spirits in the historical remains, they are like gods to us. Is that so?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "You're saying they're like gods for all of you, so the saints are like gods for the Qin dynasty. I, Qin Ji, have an enormous influence. Even if Shi Ju Lao Xian protects you, the saints of the dynasties are more powerful, you must offer your body to the saint," said the Holy Emperor. He mentioned Shi Ju Lao Xian on purpose, he was really scared of him, otherwise, he wouldn't have talked nonsense and he would have captured Lin Feng straightforwardly. "Since it's that way, Qin Ji, kneel down before me," said Lin Feng rising up in the air icily. The crowd was stupefied and fixedly staring at Lin Feng. Had he gone insane? "What are you saying?" Qin Ji was stupefied too. "Humph." Lin Feng jumped forwards and holy spirits appeared before him. He said, "Saint Tianhun, if you're a saint, you should be able to recognize this spell. Holy Spirit natural godly skill." Saint Tianhun was stupefied. Even though Lin Feng's holy spirits were weak, it was the real Holy Spirit natural godly skill. "Since you know it, then fine. So, Qin Ji, you know I was on the Holy Way stage and I managed to sit on the Holy Imperial throne. I received the legacy of the Saint of the Holy Spirit dynasty, and now I am the Holy Dynasty Prince of the Holy Spirit dynasty. If you respect the saints, then you must kneel down before me as a sign of respect for the Saint of the Holy Spirit dynasty." The crowd was astonished. This guy wanted a holy emperor to kneel down before him. Besides, he had received the legacy of the Holy Spirit dynasty. The Holy Spirit dynasty was going to protect him since he was their Holy Dynasty Prince. Empty words. Insolent, you don't respect elders. "Shut the fuck up," shouted Lin Feng explosively. He glanced at all of them and said, "Haven't you heard Qin Ji? The saints are the gods of all the dynasties. If you dare disrespect them, Qin Ji might take your children to sacrifice them. Lin Feng is right. He has really received the legacy of the Holy Spirit Saint. He's really our Holy Dynasty Prince. Even Saint Tianhun recognized his spell. Since Qin Ji respects the saints, he must respect the young master too. Kneel down as a sign of respect, said the Holy Emperor, laughing. Qin Ji pulled a long face and retorted, he said he received the saint's legacy, but why would we believe him? Qin Ji, stop talking bullshit. Lin Feng said he had received the saint's legacy, you saw he has the spell, and now you contradict him. Do you think people are stupid? Asked the Holy Spirit Holy Emperor, smiling coldly. Lin Feng stepped forwards and said to the crowd icily, today, I'm here, is there any Holy Emperor who wants me to sacrifice my body? Come and try. Indeed, and if anyone wants to, what can they do against the Holy Spirit Dynasty, Champion University, the animal world of the vast celestial ancient city, the World Clan, and Shiju Lao Xian? Asked the Holy Spirit Holy Emperor. Many people shivered. The Holy Spirit Holy Emperor had told everyone about Lin Feng's background, it was not something they could brush off. Lin Feng grunted icily and stepped. He glanced at Saint Tianhun, his holy spirits rotating around him, and released his sword intent. Saint Tianhun looked back at Lin Feng icily. Sword lights appeared, shaking the air, and the altar and the pillars around it broke apart. The saint was astonished and furious. Lin Feng had dared break the altar. A terrifying soul strength filled the air. Lin Feng glanced at Saint Tianhun and said, you want my body? You're a nobody. You were a saint but now you're worthless. A little boy is surprisingly humiliating me, I'll get you, sooner or later, replied Saint Tianhun, staring at Lin Feng ferociously. He hadn't thought this boy would have such a terrifying background. Even Saint Emperors were scared of some of the people who supported Lin Feng. But he couldn't forget about Lin Feng. Ha 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 ha. At that moment, someone laughed frantically. Energies began to build and whistle. Your Saint Emperors, if you can break our chains, will help you become saints. No need to consider such a weakling as a god, said a loud voice in the distance. It came from Chant Mountain. His voice carried powerful energies and could destroy historical remains even from very far away. The holy emperors raised their heads and looked in the direction of Chant Valley. Unchain those demons. They could help become saints. They're evil, don't listen to them. They're all evil, if you unchain them, the city will be destroyed, said Saint Tianhun, hurry up and get a body for me. I'm an evil spirit. How ridiculous. Let me tell you the truth, back in the days, the saints had started fighting because they were greedy, they wanted our help to become saints. If you break our chains, we'll help you, said the voice in the distance. The crowd was stunned. However, nobody dared act. What if the spirits were too strong, and attacked them? Saint Emperors didn't want to act recklessly and die. Saint Tianhun was different, he had been badly injured in the ancient past. He could be useful to the dynasties. I have nothing to do here anymore, said Lin Feng dismissively. His silhouette flickered, and he departed. However, as he started leaving, some people followed him closely. Those people weren't great emperors, and they weren't holy emperors either. They were geniuses who had entered the mysterious world, just like him. Since the holy emperors couldn't fight against Lin Feng, they could try their luck. Lin Feng continued flying away. Two sound waves spread out in the air behind him. Wang Jian had released his qi, and looked like a ready sword. Lin Feng had obtained a saint's skeleton, and a saint's feet, they couldn't let him off so easily. Chapter 2032, Killing a Prince. More silhouettes flickered about here and there in the air. It was a spectacular sight. The Peerless cultivators who were chained didn't shout out anymore. The historical remains had been destroyed, and the passage between this place and the outside world was now open. They needed to break free from the chains, and only Saint Emperors could help them break free. That's Lin Feng, he obtained the saint's skeleton. It contains a terrifying sword intent. I wonder if it also contains the saint's legacy. We have the opportunity to come here once every 100 years, but only a few people really benefit from the experience. This time, Lin Feng obtained great things, the skeleton and the Qin dynasty's ancestors' feet. That's why these people are chasing him. They want to steal those precious treasures from him. Let's go, let's watch who will obtain them in the end. Many people followed after Lin Feng and the others. More and more geniuses appeared behind Lin Feng. He acted as if he hadn't seen those people behind him. He was moving neither too fast nor too slow. He didn't try to escape. That battle couldn't be avoided, he couldn't escape it. Sure, Zhu Laoxian and Champion University weren't here, he had to rely on his own strength, it was the best way to survive in this world. Lin Feng landed at the top of a mountain, stopping and turning around. He looked at all the geniuses and smiled arrogantly. You keep following me, do you want to fight or not? Their eyes glittered back at him. The members of the Tianxi dynasty were here in the mysterious world, too. If they joined hands to kill Lin Feng, the Tianxi dynasty might get involved. What they wanted to do was follow Lin Feng until they found a remote place where they could kill him without being seen. You want the skeleton? You want the feet? If you are strong enough, come and get them. Come and fight. If anyone can kill me, you will be able to obtain everything I have. Of course, if you start a fight, be ready to die too, said Lin Feng to them. Who wants to fight? If you're strong enough, come and get the skeleton. Lin Feng's robe and black hair were fluttering in the wind. His eyes were dazzling. Alone, he was challenging all those geniuses. If they killed him, they'd be able to obtain all his treasures. Of course, if they failed, they would die. Princess Piao Shui arrived too. When she heard Lin Feng, she was shocked. This guy was really brave. He was facing many geniuses and he dared challenge them. Prince Yan was there, and she knew that he was astonishingly strong. She was also aware that he rarely showed how strong he really was. Wang Jian was there, and his weapon cultivation was incredible. Chua Qing had a king-type body. Apart from them, there were many other princes. Lin Feng was challenging all those people. It was incredible to see. Princess Piao Shui knew that Lin Feng was talented. He had managed to get onto the Holy Way stage, and he had sat on the Holy Imperial throne, after all. But he was only a medium-level emperor. Most people there were high-level emperors. Energies as sharp as blades moved towards Lin Feng, and a strong wind started blowing. More and more strong cultivators landed in the area. Many strong cultivators from the Tianxi dynasty were there too. Lin Feng, you said it, if someone manages to kill you, the skeleton will be theirs, repeated a strong cultivator icily. The Tianxi dynasty can't get involved. The Tianxi dynasty won't get involved, but if I kill you, I hope the members of your dynasties come and make fools of themselves, said Lin Feng to the crowd icily. Can we fight with great imperial weapons? It's better to clarify things, otherwise some people might just attack by surprise. Of course you can't. You all have terrifying great imperial weapons. How to fight in such conditions, said the strong cultivators of the Tianxi dynasty supporting Lin Feng. Alright, no great imperial weapon. We'll see how you intend to fight against so many geniuses. You will regret not having given us the skeleton earlier. Come and fight instead of talking shit, said Lin Feng disdainfully. Kill him and take the saint's things. Lin Feng, I will kill you. Someone jumped forwards. He was wearing a robe made of swallow's feathers. His qi was extremely powerful and filled the air, giving him an extraordinary appearance. It was easy to guess that he wasn't an ordinary cultivator at first glance. Lin Feng had already proven he was a good fighter, even with the strength of a medium-level emperor. Ordinary geniuses didn't want to fight to the death against him. And now he was saying, if you want to get the saint's treasures, come and take them, and be ready to die. Mo and Ran, prince of the Great Desert Dynasty. He is extremely strong. A brushstroke, and he can carve gigantic deserts, mountains, rivers, countries. It's a peculiar power some strong cultivators of the Great Desert Dynasty have. Some people say they walk on the path of the 1,000 autumns. If you understand Tao strength, you can create an unprecedented and unique Tao. You can study other people's Tao and make them your own. Indeed, some legendary cultivators don't fear any Tao either. Such people are beasts and rare. It's easy to imagine a peerless cultivator do that, but not anyone else. Peerless cultivators can break free from the great Tao. Many people were chatting about cultivation on the ground. They weren't strong enough to fight Lin Feng. Mo and Ran had already jumped over in front of Lin Feng. A white picture scroll appeared at his back. It was shining and seemed like it could contain an endless amount of strength. Mo and Ran pointed at Lin Feng and blinding lights filled the air. He took out a brush and moved it in the wind, painting a landscape with rivers and suns. He wanted to crush Lin Feng with the landscape, a magnificent and spectacular attack. Lin Feng's black hair fluttered in the wind. Holy spirits appeared in front of him and an infinity of sword intent filled the air. It was like a dozen ancient swords had appeared. He chopped his hand, sword chi lit up and cut apart the rivers and suns. Everything disappeared in the blink of an eye. However, Mo and Ran continued advancing, moving his brush and painting a desert and dragons which bore down on Lin Feng. What a strange Tao, thought Lin Feng. He continued releasing sword intent. Death strength penetrated into Mo and Ran's brain. Mo and Ran refused to be the weaker one. He grunted coldly and started drawing again, the landscape of the 10,000 autumns. The sharp orange lights made Lin Feng's soul shake. Die! Lin Feng's Tao intent turned into a sharp deadly sword. At the same time, one of his holy spirits glittered with 9 netherworlds light, striking into Mo and Ran's brain. He was stunned. The 9 netherworlds gave him the impression he was going to suffocate. His soul started turning black. Lin Feng was about to take control of him. Lin Feng's sword lights cut through the air, and all the orange attacks were destroyed. At the same time, Lin Feng continued releasing more holy spirits. You will die today. Lin Feng said to Mo and Ran. Mo and Ran's soul shook violently. It was a cursing holy spirit. Mo and Ran used his brush to cut through the air. A galaxy appeared in the sky. You can't escape, shouted a Wisdom King Holy Spirit in Mo and Ran's brain. The 5 Wisdom Kings kept attacking his soul. At the same time, Lin Feng cut apart the galaxy with his sword energies. An ancient path appeared and Lin Feng stepped up on it. Mo and Ran joined his hands, made a cross with his fingers, and a dozen whirlwinds appeared and blotted out the sky. Missouri and ran in the middle of them. What a powerful attack! Thought many people when they sensed the oppressive energies. At the same time, Lin Feng stopped, releasing more sword energies through his finger. The holy spirits kept humming as his energies gathered into a gigantic sword. Lin Feng charged ahead once more. Each time he took a step, he released death strength. Mo and Ran was shaken, closing his eyes and shouting furiously. He released his 1,000 autumns Tao strength, which turned into a tornado. At the same time, Lin Feng's sword streaked across the sky. The gigantic sword could cut through anything. He destroyed the whirlwind attacks one after another. The crowd had the impression they were going to suffocate. You're already dead, said Lin Feng, his voice resonating in his opponent's brain. The death sword slashed out, as a demon king jumped out and attacked Mo and Ran's third eye. At the same time, his soul quaked. Lin Feng's gigantic sword continued descending from the sky. The terrifying godly awareness strength exploded. Lin Feng had the impression his godly awareness was going to explode. His enemy had an incredible godly awareness defense. However, the sword didn't stop and continued descending from the sky. There was an explosion as he cut his enemy in two. Chapter 2033, Understanding Lin Feng's sword tore Mo and Rant's body apart. At the same time, the many sorts of strength exploded, and the prince turned into ashes. The crowd trembled. This was terrifying. Lin Feng had cut apart a prince of the Great Desert Dynasty, and on top of that a prince who had been strong enough to come to the historical remains. People who could come to the historical remains were all outstanding, and Mo and Ran was no exception. He was one of the most outstanding cultivators who had come to the historical remains, but Lin Feng had still killed him. However, two silhouettes jumped out. One was an old man was carrying a soul, Mo and Rant's soul. As Lin Feng was attacking Mo and Rant's godly awareness, his soul had been kicked out of his body, and he had managed to avoid Lin Feng's deadly sword attack. Humph! Lin Feng grunted icily and jumped forwards. His holy spirit thrust out, sword lights filled the air. At the same time, a death sword bombarded Mo and Rant's soul as he fled. The old man's face stiffened, and he grunted coldly. A soul punch lashed back, surrounded by desert sand. The two silhouettes left. Lin Feng observed icily, "We just agreed that people from the Great Desert Dynasty couldn't get involved, and you didn't respect your promise in front of so many geniuses." Mo and Ran could only snarl furiously. He had no physical body, and couldn't fight against Lin Feng anymore. Nobody had anticipated that Lin Feng would destroy Prince Damo's physical body. If he hadn't been protected, he would have died already. Many people who were initially motivated to fight against Lin Feng started hesitating. Getting Lin Feng's treasures wasn't so easy. The people who weren't princes were even more vigilant. Even if they found a way to take Lin Feng's treasures, the princes wouldn't let them leave with them. "Any other prince wants to kill Lin Feng?" asked Wang Jian at that moment. His voice sounded like his Dao, extremely sharp. The princes looked at him furiously. Was he making fun of them? "I want to ask, since Lin Feng challenged the crowd, and since he has received a saint's legacy, the dynasties should fight first. If a prince can kill Lin Feng and steal the saint's treasures, we won't continue fighting against him. If the princes stop fighting against him, we can try fighting against him," said Zhuoqing. The others were startled. Zhuoqing, who had a diamond indestructible king-type body, also wanted to fight, but he first wanted to see if princes were going to fight against Lin Feng or not. "That's exactly what I meant." Wang Jian was putting pressure on those princes. Princes first. If the princes didn't want to fight, then the others would try. Here, apart from princes, nobody can compete with Zhuoqing and Wang Jian. If princes don't fight, only they can kill Lin Feng. "Lin Feng is in danger," mused those watching. Everybody knew how strong Lin Feng was. He had just killed the Great Desert Dynasty's prince, and had destroyed his physical body. Lin Feng was a beast. Not many people here could compete with him. "You continue chatting. I'm waiting here," said Lin Feng glancing at the crowd scornfully. He went back to the top of the mountain and sat down cross-legged. Surprisingly, he was practicing cultivation while they dickered. A clone appeared and Lin Feng's real body forgot about the outside world. The determination of the heavenly grace ancient tree filled the air. Many sorts of cosmic energies condensed, the strength of the 10,000 things of creation. The determination of the blue Uptala lotus also filled the air. The chi of the 10,000 things of creation rolled out. Lin Feng sensed the energies of enlightenment, and started visualizing Qin Shan's ancient holy techniques. Lin Feng forgot everything about the outside world, he just studied the holy technique. It was extremely impressive as the great Tao. He was into a deep meditative state. The ancient holy techniques are qi, force, and mind, thought Lin Feng. His blood flowed faster. It felt as if it contained an infinite amount of strength. A domineering shape appeared before him that could oppress anything. It looked like a gigantic ancient animal, but it could also look like an earthquake, it didn't have a stable shape. Ling Tian looked at the gigantic form. A gigantic oppressive foot appeared and fell upon the ground, it couldn't shake anymore. It was incredible to watch. Nobody could forget such a technique. Without a saint it was almost impossible to create such a technique. At that moment, the Holy Spirit dynasty's strong cultivators looked at Lin Feng. His blood seemed to be boiling. Force rose up into the air and strength condensed. The strength of the 10,000 things of creation and the earth and sky appeared around him and penetrated into his body. What a guy, he's meditating. What a strange man, thought the people of the Holy Spirit dynasty. No wonder he had been onto the Holy Way stage and Holy Imperial throne. No wonder he even dared challenge all these geniuses. The others also realized that something was going on with Lin Feng. They were initially stunned that Lin Feng was practicing cultivation there. Those kinds of qi and force were extremely powerful. People could sense his strength even from far away. There's force in that strength. He can make stones explode. An attack using such strength is dangerous, thought the crowd. They could sense how fearsome Lin Feng's strength was. The strongest cultivator of the Qin dynasty frowned when he sensed Lin Feng's explosive force. It was very similar to that of the Qin dynasty dash. Lin Feng had taken their ancestors' feet, had he obtained something else? Prince Yan jumped forwards. Princess Piao Shui was stupefied and said, "Brother, Lin Feng is nice and the Tianxi dynasty invited him. He's our guest of honor. Other people can attack him, but you can't. Saints' treasures belong to dynasties. Since Lin Feng is arrogant, I want to try too," said Prince Yan calmly while releasing soft water energy. 5 threads of water strength started flowing in the air, moving erratically. People from the Tianxi dynasty controlled water-type cosmic energies. Prince Yan ran forwards, the sound of waves crashing filling the air. Water energies surged towards Lin Feng. However, a Holy Spirit dynasty cultivator waved his hand, releasing strength and destroying the energies as he said, "Lin Feng is practicing cultivation. You can't disturb him." "It's all right, I'm done," said Lin Feng's clone. He was still seated cross-legged and looked pensive. Even though his clone couldn't practice cultivation, thinking was fine. Lin Feng's clone was wondering whether the Holy Spirit natural godly skill could be used to condense many Holy Spirits and then merge them into one Holy Spirit. If he could make 3,000 Holy Spirits at the same time, his attacks would be truly terrifying. The ancient holy techniques weren't as complex as the Holy Spirit natural godly skill, which was pure. However, his goal was to carry out explosive attacks, so he had to master the skill to its highest level. Lin Feng was wondering whether he could make the Holy Spirits evolve, too. At the same time, Lin Feng's real body released a dreadful strength. He condensed it, and at the same time multiple Holy Spirits appeared around him. His Holy Spirits absorbed the strength of the earth and sky, and were growing stronger. Chapter 2034, Destructive Oppression. "Be careful, he is my imperial brother," said someone to Lin Feng telepathically. It was Princess Piao Shui, she was worried about him. "All right," replied Lin Feng telepathically. He looked at Prince Yan as the prince's spirit suddenly appeared. He was moving gracefully, like water. "My imperial brother's spirit is unique, and so is his Tao. He can make them fuse together with water. It's difficult to defeat him," said Princess Piao Shui. At that moment, Lin Feng only saw the body of the prince moving like water. It seemed unreal, as if he were going to disperse at any time. Lin Feng punched out, and the Holy Spirits turned into raging sharp swords. Prince Yan stepped forward, and the sharp sword quickly cut through him. His arm waved, and he suddenly fused together with his spirit. He became transparent, and his arm looked like water. When the sword pierced through his arm, there was no blood, merely a fissure appeared and flowed together again. Prince Yan's strength is really mysterious. People rarely have the opportunity to see him fight. However, the geniuses never dared underestimate him, even Wang Jian doesn't, whispered someone. What a terrifying power. When Lin Feng saw the prince's defense, he was amazed. Princess Piao Shui had told him the truth, it really was a strange Dao. However, how could he use that kind of Dao to fight? Cultivation strength was the strength of the 1,000 worlds. Prince Yan ran towards Lin Feng. He waved his arm and a lake appeared, turning into a water pillar which descended from the sky above Lin Feng. It looked like Lin Feng was about to drown. Lin Feng looked at the prince icily. He condensed another holy spirit which struck the water pillar, breaking it into two. A powerful strength crashed onto his sharp sword and just missed him. Water strength could be that impressive? Suddenly, the lake turned into a whirlpool and surrounded Lin Feng as it turned into ice, attempting to freeze him. At the same time, it turned into sharp ice swords which closed in on Lin Feng. Normal swords can't break the whirlpool, however, can water cut a sharp sword? Thought Lin Feng, releasing sword intent, qi, and force, all of which condensed into a sword. His soul, blood, and flesh all seemed to have turned into a sword. The qi and force seemed to be condensing in, around and on his body. He didn't look like a human being anymore, he looked like a sword. Lin Feng pierced through the water attacking him and flew out of the whirlpool, destroying everything in his way. Prince Yan grunted icily when he saw that. His body seemed to melt. Lin Feng's sword pierced through him, however, something shattered in the air and water strength penetrated into Lin Feng's brain. An ice-cold energy gave Lin Feng the impression his soul was going to freeze. A terrifying turbidine strength bombarded Lin Feng's soul violently. That wasn't a real attack, it was even more terrifying than a real attack. This is Prince Yan's real Dao, thought Lin Feng. He had the sensation that not only was his soul going to freeze and explode, but his body too. The turbidine attack was really painful. Destructive curse. Lin Feng released cursing strength, which filled the air. The water progressively disappeared around him. A human shape appeared in front of him, resolving into Prince Yan. He kept hiding in the water and flowing through it. Waves rushed and streamed around him. Prince Yan's water was trying to fuse together with Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng had the sensation his blood was being corroded by the turbidine strength. It was becoming fluid and turning water. Prince Yan's strength is impressive, said those watching. They had underestimated Prince Yan's power. His attacks weren't aggressive, but they were sly, which was even more terrifying. A dragon appeared behind Lin Feng and the air began to hum. A terrifying absorbing strength filled the air, and started absorbing the water. There was draining sounds as the dragon drank up the water. Lin Feng released sharp qi, his blood roaring with rage. His entire body turned into sword lights. He also released a terrifying cursing strength. He wanted to get rid of all the water in his body. Of course, he also released dreadful death energies. Lin Feng expelled the water out of his body, tainting it with death strength as he did. It was already gray. Prince Yan had been expelled out of Lin Feng's body, and Lin Feng looked at him icily. His soul still felt ice-cold because of the turbidine strength. Prince Yan controls water-type strength. It's difficult to kill him. Maybe I could have killed Wang Jian or Zhuo Qin with my attacks, but I still haven't managed to kill Prince Yan, thought Lin Feng. If his soul, mind, and body hadn't been powerful, he might have died. Prince Yan had started corroding his body with turbidine strength, it could have killed him. In return, because of his particular abilities, killing him was very difficult. The ancient holy techniques can oppress the universe, including the great Tao. Even though I can't do that, at least, I can oppress the water a little bit, muttered Lin Feng. At that moment, he closed his eyes, and a wind started blowing, holy spirits appeared in front of him and turned into sword intent. At that moment, Lin Feng was bathing in ancient energies, and releasing endless amounts of qi. It was like he had been separated from the outside world, and was alone in his world. The force of the earth and sky penetrated into his body. His body and soul turned into a sharp sword. He spat out oppressive strength. The crowd was shocked to see this. What kind of strength was Lin Feng using? What a terrifying force. They had the impression that Lin Feng was all alone in the world. He looked like a solitary, ancient sword. He condensed his vitality qi too. His whole body turned into a sword. Lin Feng disappeared, no longer a human being, he was a sword, and apart from being sharp, his sword was also oppressive. With that gigantic sword, he wanted to oppress the world. The sword streaked across the sky, its terrifying strength filling the air. Prince Yan had the sensation that he was going to be crushed by that sword. His confident, unperturbed expression changed as his water began to crack and shatter. His whole body blew apart into a lake. Without a hard body, how could he resist? The gigantic sword crashed onto the lake. It looked like a sword from ancient times. At that moment, the lake suddenly became rigid, not like a fluid anymore. It became rigid and extremely hard. The sword could oppress anything. The lake started breaking apart, and then it disappeared. He even managed to oppress and destroy invisible and intangible water, someone exclaimed. They were all astonished. That ancient sword was really domineering. Even though people can't easily attack Prince Yan, the problem is that when he turns into water, his strength is spread all over, and he can't focus on one point. Unfortunately, Lin Feng is already oppressing him too much. His spells are terrifying. That's the holy technique of the Qin dynasty's ancestor. The stronger cultivators of the Qin dynasty were astonished. That was definitely their ancestors' technique. The technique had evolved over time, but the technique Lin Feng used looked like the one they had read about in books. It was similar to the one they used, but still different. Lin Feng, you obtained our ancestors' technique with the big feet, shouted the strong cultivators of the Qin dynasty. They couldn't keep calm anymore. They didn't have access to the original technique of their ancestors, but Lin Feng had learned it. The Holy Spirit dynasty cultivators were startled. Lin Feng had learned the Qin dynasty's ancient technique, they were even more responsible, all the geniuses were jealous of Lin Feng. No wonder his oppressive strength was so terrifying. Prince Yan wasn't even able to compete with him anymore. At that moment, Prince Yan's body appeared indistinctly. He was still in the water but his silhouette was distorted. He couldn't do much though because his strength was spread all over. Lin Feng, stop, shouted some senior cultivators of the Tianxi dynasty loudly. However, Lin Feng continued oppressing the water and destroyed it. At the same time, Lin Feng started condensing a new gigantic sword. Let's go. Another cultivator jumped out, a strong cultivator of the Holy Spirit dynasty. Lin Feng was surrounded by sword energies as he followed the strong cultivator of the Holy Spirit dynasty. He glanced at the crowd disdainfully. He had killed Prince Yan in front of all the geniuses. How insane! Princess Piao Shui was astonished when she saw that, sighing despite herself. Lin Feng had killed her half-brother. Chapter 2035, Fighting for the 9 magical characters. Wang Jian, Zhe Qing, and the others' geniuses looked desperate. They were furious at the cultivators of the Qin dynasty. Now, the Tianxi dynasty would take care of Lin Feng, which meant they wouldn't be able to do anything anymore. They could only forget about Lin Feng's precious treasures. They were all determined people. So when they saw they couldn't obtain Lin Feng's treasures anymore, they went back to the historical remains. The chained cultivators had already calmed down. Lin Feng had managed to find saints' treasures, so they could probably do the same, especially since there were many saints in the old days. There weren't just 2 saints, there were many others, and maybe that they could find other saints' historical remains. Not just the members of the Tianxi dynasty, other people also thought it was a pity that Prince Yan had died, but all in all, people didn't really care. Prince Yen was extremely strong, but Lin Feng had studied an incredible ancient technique which could oppress the earth and sky. He had crushed Prince Yen alive. They wanted to find their own historical remains even more. The holy emperors were still arguing over Saint Tianhun. As all this was going on, 3 people arrived in an ice world. That ice world was hidden under the ground. There was a small path in a valley which leading here, Lang Yi and Ho Qing Lin had found the place accidentally. After Lin Feng had been chased far away. Meng Qing, Lang Yi and Ho Qing Lin had separated. In the historical remains, Lang Yi and Ho Qing Lin encountered Chu Chunqiu. Chu Chunqiu had attacked Ho Qing Lin once, therefore, he didn't mind attacking him a second time. Besides, he also wanted to attack Lang Yi, who had rescued Ho Qing Lin the previous time. Lang Yi and Ho Qing Lin, if they joined hands, were extremely dangerous. However, Chu Chunqiu was sly. Chu Chunqiu had managed to win against Ying Cheng before he had broken through to the Di Qi layer. Now, Chu Chunqiu was one of the strongest geniuses you could find in the region. He chased them for a while and the 2 cultivators accidentally ended up there. They could see a chained cultivator in the ice world. At that moment, Lang Yi, Ho Qing Lin and Chu Chunqiu were shivering because of the cold, and starting to freeze. They kept releasing powerful energies to protect themselves. As they ran forwards, the sensation was getting worse. It was more and more difficult to move forwards. Chu Chunqiu, if you attack us again, we don't mind freezing to death here with you. We'll see if anyone is lucky enough to escape, declared Lang Yi icily. Chu Chunqiu glanced at Ho Qing Lin and Lang Yi aggressively and then gazed into the distance. He looked determined. Around the 3 cultivators, there were many human silhouettes, however, they were all frozen corpses. Some people's eyes were still open, from the look in their eyes, one could guess that they had begged for their lives before dying. Those people had died 100 years before, or 200, or even more for some of them. Being able to come to the historical remains was a good opportunity, but those people had been unlucky. In front of them, there was a gigantic silhouette in chains. The man within looked as sharp as a sword. His eyes were terrifying. He looked at the 3 people mockingly. Every 100 years, some people came and in the end they died. Even though he didn't look happy, he was actually happy to see people. Chu Chunqiu and the 2 others noticed that that person was looking at them as if they were interesting little insects, but they didn't mind. They even continued running forwards. If they were careless, that cultivator could probably kill them, but they didn't give up. In front of the gigantic chained cultivator, there was a word carved in the snow. Each letter contained a terrifying strength. As long as those letters were there, the ice chi of this area couldn't expand. Even though many years had passed, the letters still contained a terrifying strength. If they managed to grab those words, they'd obtain that incredible strength. Chu Chunqiu and the 2 others struggled to move forwards when they saw those letters, they wanted them. 7 more steps and we'll be there. Lang Yi and Ho Qing Lin were moving shoulder to shoulder. Chu Chunqiu had made 1 step more than them. He had 6 more steps to go, but it was extremely difficult. A saint carved those letters using his life. If you manage to get them, you'll obtain that spirit and marrow strength, said the chained cultivator calmly. He was trying to tempt them even more. Many geniuses had died when only 7 steps were left. The corpses around them were the proof. Sometimes, people managed to make it almost to the end, 1 step was left, and then they died. Chu Chunqiu was extremely determined. At that moment, he looked like a blinding sun. He had an aura of will around him. The ice around him started breaking. Nothing could prevent him from doing what he wanted. The letters contained a terrifying strength. That strength was very useful for all of them. They really wanted it. Chu Chunqiu took another step, the ground crackled. Lang Yi was releasing world lights, which absorbed the ice and kept him relatively warm at the same time. Ho Ching Lin was surrounded by reincarnation lights. His sword kept cutting through the ice around him. The three people continued walking forwards, they were drawing ever closer to the letters. Chu Chun Chiu was 2 steps away and stopped in the face of the terrifying pressure. Lang Yi and Ho Ching Lin were 4 steps away from the letters. Their souls and veins seemed like they were going to freeze. If they weren't careful, they could die. Many geniuses had missed opportunities in that world, maybe they would miss a great opportunity here. Lang Yi, he'll arrive before us. I will condense my full strength to open the way for you. When you obtain the incantation, protect us with your world coffin, Ho Ching Lin said to Lang Yi. Isn't it too dangerous? If I obtain the incantation and something unexpected happens, it could get dangerous. Sometimes, we have to take risks. When Lang Yi heard that, his heart twitched and he said to Ho Ching Lin telepathically, all right, since you want to try and gamble, let's do it. At that moment, Chu Chun Chiu had the will of a king, an ancient king had appeared at his back. One more step and he'd be 1 step away from the incantation. The chained cultivator was amused as he looked on. At the same time, Ho Ching Lin and Lang Yi ground their teeth and continued walking forwards. They were 3 steps away. Chu Chun Chiu looked crazed and kept shouting furiously. His hair was fluttering in the wind. He really considered himself a king. Ho Ching Lin and Lang Yi took another step forward. Ho Ching Lin released terrifying reincarnation sword energies which could absorb anything. A strong wind started blowing, and the ice around them broke apart. Ho Ching Lin kept releasing energies to open the way for Lang Yi and make things easier for him so Lang Yi could move easier. They were catching up with Chu Chun Chiu, 1 more step. But Chu Chun Chiu started his last step. Arg! Lang Yi shouted furiously. World lights dashed to the skies, the space around them became distorted. Chu Chun Chiu was only half a step away from the letters, and at the same time, Ho Ching Lin's body froze and he turned into a statue. Die! Chu Chun Chiu shouted furiously and released energies towards Lang Yi. However, Lang Yi released hand imprints which moved towards the letters, like he wanted to destroy everything. Crackling sounds spread in the air, the letters were drawn towards Ho Ching Lin and penetrated into him. As they did so, Chu Chun Chiu was hurled away as blood splashed. Lang Yi moved again. 9 lights appeared around him. He walked up beside Ho Ching Lin and broke the ice around him. Then, his world coffin appeared and he took Ho Ching Lin away. If he had used the world coffin before, it would have been easier to move forwards, but getting out of the coffin right before the letters could have been extremely dangerous, the ice strength could have crashed down and killed him. You 3 are interesting, said the chained cultivator indifferently. Chu Chun Chiu shouted furiously, Lang Yi, Ho Ching Lin, I will kill you. Lang Yi had taken the incantation even though he had almost reached it, and now he was even injured. What a humiliation. He had to absorb their wills. Chapter 2036, Helping each other. Lang Yi and Ho Ching Lin quickly fled the historical remains. Ho Ching Lin was still surrounded by ice energies and he was shaking violently. He had used his full strength to help Lang Yi. His body and soul had both been injured. How do you feel? Asked Lang Yi to Ho Ching Lin. I'm all right. If we had stayed there for a few more minutes, I would have died, said Ho Ching Lin. He shivered uncontrollably. We succeeded though, we obtained the incantation. The spirit and marrow strength is also in my body, I'm afraid I can't transmit it to you, though, said Lang Yi, frowning. He could sense that the spirit and marrow strength could be transmitted by saints to other people. He had the sensation he couldn't pass it on, not able to copy the incantation perfectly and then paste it onto Ho Ching Lin's memories. Just transmit as much as you can, said Ho Ching Lin smiled. They had taken it, it was better than if Chu Chun Chiu had obtained it. Chu Chun Chiu was dangerous, and with the spirit and marrow strength, he would have become even stronger. There were still many strong cultivators in the historical remains. Many other powerful groups from Chi Tian Holy Town had heard about what was going on, so they had hurried inside. The saints' world was open, why not come and benefit from it? Lin Feng was already in the Holy Spirit dynasty. Knowing he had received the legacy of the Holy Spirit dynasty's saint and the Qin dynasty's saint, many people envied him. Holy Dynasty Prince, said a strong cultivator of the Holy Spirit dynasty to Lin Feng, we chose a beautiful woman for you. She is extremely beautiful, her qi is incredible, and she is very talented. We hope you can give her a child as soon as possible. Lin Feng was stunned. They really were in a hurry. I know that my wife is on her way to the Holy Spirit dynasty, wait for her and we'll talk about that, said Lin Feng. The man nodded, not daring to threaten anything. He said, all right, I can first take you to her so you can meet. Next time, you can go alone. No need for us to lead the way. Lin Feng remained silent. The guide wanted to do that for him so as not to be embarrassed. It would be strange to have someone lead the way to a room for you to have sex with a woman to make her pregnant. All right, Lin Feng sighed and nodded. Holy Dynasty Prince, please come with me, said that old man to Lin Feng. They left together. Lin Feng followed the old man and they soon arrived in a courtyard. There was a building there, but the old man didn't enter the room. Holy Dynasty Prince, she's in there. She has a strange temper, however. It's difficult to get close to her, but since she accepted, there won't be any problem. If you agree, then, you know what I mean, I don't need to explain those things to you, said the old man, laughing. Then, standing before the door, he said, Princely concubine, the Holy Dynasty Prince is here to see you. After that, the old man quickly left. Lin Feng looked at the door and sighed. What kind of girl had accepted the Holy Spirit dynasty's request? For the girl, it was probably a nightmare. A strange qi emerged. Lin Feng opened that door, and slowly entered the room. It smelled good in the room. Lin Feng slowly walked forwards, spotting the back of a woman out on a small terrace, the sun shining upon her. She didn't turn around when Lin Feng entered the room. She looked beautiful, but was wearing a black cloak. She had voluptuous breasts, but it was difficult to see the rest of her body because of the cloak. Lin Feng was standing there and remained silent. He didn't know what to say. What could he say, in such circumstances? After a long time, Lin Feng sighed and said, I know the Holy Spirit dynasty really hopes it will happen. However, if you choose otherwise, I can ask them to pick someone else. The girl remained silent and shook her head. Lin Feng said, Is it because you're happy to give descendants to the dynasty? The woman shook her head again. Then, she said, being the mother of a future holy emperor of the dynasty is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Lin Feng was speechless. She wasn't talking nonsense. Indeed, their children would maybe become holy emperors. How many people had such opportunities? Her voice sounded hoarse though, was it her real voice? She also sounded a bit gentle. Lin Feng guessed that she was hiding her real voice. Lin Feng didn't know what to say anymore, so he remained silent again. Now, said the girl calmly. Lin Feng knew what she meant. No, I just came to see you. Not now. I'll come back to you, said Lin Feng, then he turned around and left. The girl turned around hastily at his words. She was very beautiful actually, with particularly beautiful eyes. She was wearing a veil, however. She had turned around quickly, but Lin Feng had already disappeared. After a long time, she finally smiled. With the sun shining upon her, she looked stunning. Of course I agree. Not only because our child will be a future holy emperor, but because it will be yours too, the woman said gently. Lin Feng did not hear her, however. Lin Feng had already contacted Meng Qing using his jade talisman. She soon arrived in the Holy Spirit dynasty. After that, Lang Yi, Ho Qing Lin, and Jian Mang also came to the Holy Spirit dynasty. Are you all alright? Lin Feng asked Lang Yi and the others. Yes, we were lucky, we found an incantation, Lang Yi smiled. Lin Feng's eyes twinkled. He hadn't thought Lang Yi and Ho Qing Lin would find anything. I don't think it was made by a saint, I think it comes from ancient Buddhist scriptures. I understand the incantation quite well. It's become part of my strength. I obtained spirit and marrow strength through it. I can't transmit the details to you, so you'd have to study it on your own. Lin Feng nodded, he had obtained 2 holy techniques, if he obtained the spirit and marrow strength, that would be even more. Spells changed over time because saints only transmitted the rudiments of their spells, and people who received them had to be smart to understand and adapt them. Because of my connection to the Holy Spirit dynasty, I can't really transmit the Holy Spirit dynasty's technique to you, and besides, it wouldn't be useful for you. It's better for me. However, I will transmit the ancient holy techniques of the Qin dynasty to you. Even if you understand only a tiny part of them, you'll become much stronger, or in any case, it won't do you any harm, said Lin Feng. He didn't mind transmitting techniques, skills and spells to his friends. He had to create his own spells to transcend worldliness and attain holiness anyway. He had to surpass himself someday. High-level and talented cultivators didn't need to waste too much time studying spells. Lin Feng and the others were helping each other study. The incantation represented an extensive knowledge and profound scholarship. There were 9 words: temporary, for determination, firm and tenacious, Madra unity, determination of ancient characters, impermanence. Weapon, for capabilities, indestructibility, Madra unity, determination of ancient characters, ever conquering. Battle, for battle determination, resonance of the earth and sky, Madra unity, determination of ancient characters, destruction of the earth and sky. Each word had a meaning and contained spirit and marrow strength. Unfortunately, Lin Feng hadn't obtained it from a saint. He only had the rudiments. However, he knew that saints' techniques were all terrifying. That incantation would be perfect for our Buddhist fellow disciples, Ho Qing Lin smiled. Indeed. Tiantai's core disciples should obtain holy techniques. That way, Tiantai will become awesome, Lin Feng nodded. When Lang Yi heard Lin Feng, he was surprised. Lin Feng wanted to create such a powerful group. Chapter 2037, Tao-destroying mountain. Since the saints' world was now accessible, people in Chi Tian Holy Town couldn't keep calm. Many people from all over the Dark Night region headed to Chi Tian Holy Town. People also quickly found out that there were chained cultivators there who were stronger than the saints, and the news spread quickly throughout the region. The news even spread in some other regions of the continent of the 9 clouds. Many people wanted to steal things from Lin Feng, but he had a complex background, and he didn't come out of the Holy Spirit dynasty. The public slowly started forgetting about him. No dynasty dared attack Lin Feng either. Nobody could compete with Shiju Lao Xian watching over him. Even Champion University couldn't be offended anymore. Lin Feng didn't come out of the Holy Spirit dynasty for a simple reason: he was busy practicing cultivation and becoming stronger. Lang Yi, Ho Qing Lin, and Jian Mang headed back to the Holy City. Only Lin Feng and Meng Qing stayed in the Holy Spirit dynasty. During those days, Lin Feng continued meditating in seclusion. Even the Holy Spirit dynasty didn't know what he was doing. Even though they really wanted him to give them a child, they didn't put pressure on him. Lin Feng was in the Holy Spirit dynasty, which was a sign he was not going to forget his promise, anyway. Lin Feng was in a peaceful and quiet courtyard, within his spirit world. His family members were all there. Meng Qing, don't stay with Lin Feng too much, it influences his cultivation. We can share a bedroom, said Yu Meng He, touching Meng Qing's tummy. She was smiling like a young woman in spite of her age. After Lin Wuxiang had left, Yu Meng He had started feeling lonely again. Lin Feng and Meng Qing were finally going to have a baby, so she was going to be able to care of a baby again, at last. Mother, don't forget me, Lin Feng smiled wryly. Meng Qing beamed and looked at Lin Feng and Yu Menghe. She felt extremely happy. Finally, they were going to have a baby. I'll take care of Meng Qing. You can stay with Fei Fei, and even give her a child too, said Yu Menghe, looking at Lu Fei who was standing next to her. Lu Fei went red instantly. She wasn't that talented in terms of cultivation. She was worried that if Lin Feng and she had a child, the baby wouldn't be talented enough. Mother, you're right. Fei Fei and I should also have a child, said Lin Feng putting his arm around Lu Fei's waist and smiling. Lu Fei blushed even more and put her head on his shoulder. In the future, our child will be the general of this small world, just like Fei Fei's father was the general of Shuiyu, said Lin Feng with a smile. His small world kept becoming better. Outside of Shuiyu, he had built many countries. Progressively, there were more and more interesting sights and things to see. He would also leave some historical remains at some point. And Yu Xian, don't forget about her, said Yu Menghe to Lin Feng. Yes, I know, said Lin Feng nodding. When do you intend to go and find Xian? I'm not strong enough yet. Unless Xian takes the initiative to come out, I have no choice but to wait. I'll have to become stronger first, said Lin Feng. He didn't know how to explain, but Xian had probably gone to the Moon Palace, and the Moon Palace was a terrifying place. All right, as long as you don't forget about her. Meng Qing, Fei Fei, Xian, and Yu Xian are all my daughters-in-law. I don't want any of them to have a problem. Little Lin Feng, I can't help you with cultivation though, you must continue making great efforts, Yu Menghe to her son. She knew that she was already extremely weak compared to her son. She didn't even know how strong he truly was. I know, Lin Feng nodded. He looked at Meng Qing and smiled, Meng Qing, be careful. I'm going to go and see Yu Xian. All right, replied Meng Qing. She was thinking that Lin Feng was making a fuss about nothing. She wasn't a weakling, she was strong, but of course, she was also happy that Lin Feng cared about her. Lin Feng quickly arrived where Yu Xian was staying. She stayed there every day. The emotionlessness strength was too powerful and could burst out at any time. Yu Xian. Lin Feng called out, walking up to her. Yu Xian raised her head. 6 months had passed, she looked wan and sallow. Lin Feng, I want to go to the Tao-destroying mountain, said Yu Xian, smiling at Lin Feng. She stood up, looking extremely beautiful and determined. Tao-destroying mountain. Lin Feng frowned. That place was an ancient site, a forbidden area for many cultivators. It was a place where it was possible to destroy one's Tao. If a cultivator went there, their Tao had to break, it was how it got the name. Any cultivator would have been terror-stricken to go there. Are you sure you want to go there? Asked Lin Feng, looking at Yu Xian solemnly. He didn't know whether there would be serious consequences. Yes, said Yu Xian smiled. I don't want to be stuck because of emotionlessness Tao. I don't mind becoming an ordinary person again. Lin Feng remained silent for a while and stared at her. Then, he nodded and said, all right, I'll bring you there to destroy your emotionlessness Tao. Lin Feng left his spirit world and flew towards the exit of the Holy Spirit dynasty. On the way, he said to an old man, I'm going out, I have something to do. When I come back, I'll go and see that concubine. No problem, go, the old man nodded. He didn't chase after Lin Feng or ask probing questions. Tao-destroying mountain was a mountain in Chi Tian Holy Town where nobody dared go. Winters were extremely cold there, and there were few people in the surroundings. Cultivators did all they could to learn how to control their Tao. Why would they risk breaking their Tao? Nobody wanted to do that. But now, someone was heading there to do exactly that. Lin Feng and Qiu Yuxian were in the sky near the Tao-destroying mountain. There were 3 connected peaks before them. If a cultivator walked them, their Tao could break. Lin Feng, I'm going, said Qiu Yuxian, smiling at Lin Feng. Lin Feng, who was firmly holding her hand, let go of her reluctantly. Qiu Yuxian smiled brilliantly. She slowly walked forwards, letting go of him as well. She hadn't smiled that way in a very long time. Yuxian, if there's any problems, come out, said Lin Feng, worried for her. His boat was behind him, and he was staying outside the mountains. Qiu Yuxian's silhouette flickered. She slowly flew towards the mountain. She took a deep breath, still smiling. She stopped for a few seconds and then she continued flying towards the mountains. At that moment, Lin Feng sensed a particular strength isolate him from Qiu Yuxian. Qiu Yuxian coughed up some blood. Lin Feng was shaking with pain. Qiu Yuxian didn't shout, she endured the pain. She was propelled into the sky and blood gushed out of her eyes and nose. Her clothes were even torn apart. It was frightening to see. Even though she didn't shout, Lin Feng was clenching his fists so tight that his fingernails pierced through the palms of his hand and made him bleed with grief. Having to break one's Tao was one of the worst things which could happen to a cultivator. Qiu Yuxian was attacked a few times. However, she stood up again. Lin Feng didn't know what was going on with her. However, at that moment, demon energies started surrounding him. He wanted to go and rescue her. Qiu Yuxian's eyes rolled. Blood kept dripping her. However, she was still smiling brilliantly, trying to tell Lin Feng she was fine, she didn't want him to worry about her. People who went to the Tao-destroying mountain and remained calm like Qiu Yuxian were extremely rare. She had come to break her emotionlessness Tao. She was enduring it, she was fighting against herself. Lin Feng made a step and then stopped, demon energies crackled. The air was humming. Qiu Yuxian was still being attacked. Lin Feng didn't know how terrifying the strength attacking her was. Demon energies continued condensing around him, but he didn't realize it, Devamara Culpa's strength glittered in the sky. Lin Feng raised his head and saw Devamara Culpa's strength descend from the sky and assault him. He remained ice-cold, like a real demon, standing fast and completely motionless. He slowly turned around and looked at Qiu Yuxian again. Demon lights continued coming down and cleansing his body. He didn't frown. His woman was suffering more than him. Qiu Yuxian turned around, she was floating in the air, she looked powerless and weak. She felt lucky, though. Nothing could prevent her from being with Lin Feng in this world. Lin Feng felt extremely sad for her. He ran forwards. He wanted to jump into the Tao-destroying mountain, but at that moment, the mysterious strength filled the air, but in a different way. Lin Feng was startled. The strength penetrated into her body again and suddenly, her face was filled with vitality and vigor once again. Lin Feng gaped. Qiu Yuxian was shocked, too. Tao strength emerged from her body and filled the air about her. Emotionlessness was about emotions. If emotionlessness was destroyed, it was to have more emotions. Chapter 2038, Strange Story. When Qiu Yuxian came out of the Tao-destroying mountain, she looked serene. She looked like a caring and loving woman, as if her heart had been filled with love. She was smiling resplendently and looked extremely beautiful. Lin Feng's demonic intent disappeared. He walked forwards and hugged Qiu Yuxian. He felt relieved and took a deep breath, thinking, good, good. Qiu Yuxian felt Lin Feng's warmth, and put her head on his shoulder. She had no emotionlessness strength anymore. Her heart was filled with love. So if you don't believe the Tao-destroying mountain can destroy your Tao, then your Tao must break. But if you come here with the purpose of breaking your Tao, then it destroys it and then helps you, whispered Qiu Yuxian. Lin Feng smiled. The Tao-destroying mountain was an ancient mountain. It could destroy Tao, but its main purpose wasn't to destroy Tao, it was to allow cultivators to start a new life, on a new path. It allowed people to find their true path. "Let's go back," said Lin Feng. He was very happy. Xiao Yuxian had broken her emotionlessness Tao and now she had emotions again. In the meantime, Lin Feng had just become a high-level emperor. He was in a very good mood. Xiao Yuxian was back, she was really back. The two jumped onto the boat and sat down cross-legged. Xiao Yuxian looked happy and at peace. She enjoyed the landscape sweeping by underneath them. She wanted to travel across the world with him like that. Lin Feng went back to the Holy Spirit dynasty. He took Xiao Yuxian to Shuiyu into his spirit world, and she spent some days with his family. Lin Feng took care of Meng Qing, Xiao Yuxian, and Lu Fei, spending some pleasant days with them. However, at that moment, a beautiful yet ice-cold woman was traveling to Qi Tian Holy Town. She was radiating a powerful qi. It was rainy and windy in Qi Tian Holy Town. There were great battles everywhere. Strong cultivators kept falling from the sky. Even great emperors were dying. The passage between the historical remains and the city was open, so many strong cultivators had come, and real historical remains had also appeared. All this had nothing to do with Lin Feng anymore, though. He had obtained enough from the saints, even the incantation. Even though it didn't have the spirit and marrow strength, he could use the celestial evolution holy scriptures on the incantation, it would help him understand it and make it stronger. Lin Feng was very smart. He knew what he had to do to become stronger, he also knew he needed to rest sometimes. Spending days resting wasn't a waste for his cultivation, as he never forgot about cultivation anyway. Lin Feng was now a high-level emperor, and his Devamara body had been cleansed once more. No emperor could resist his punches, his physical body had become so scary. If he punched an ordinary high-level emperor, he could crush him in a flash. There were 3 other people with him in the demon pond whose cultivation levels were higher than his, they were at the very top of the high Huang Qi layer. They were the ones who, with Ji Jiang, had chased Lin Feng back after Pathfinder Day. Lin Feng was doing his best to raise those people and make them into perfect demon puppets. He taught them the celestial evolution holy scriptures, he cleansed their bodies, he taught them saint spells, he taught them everything he knew. Even though Ji Jiang wasn't as famous as Ji Chang in the Ji clan, he was still a genius of the Huang Qi layer, or he wouldn't have chased after Lin Feng to kill him. Lin Feng was convinced that with the education he provided them and their high cultivation level, even if they weren't as good as he was at fighting, they would still be great fighters, especially with the celestial evolution holy scriptures which could increase their talent. With time, they'd stand out more and more. Lin Feng left his spirit's world and went back to the Holy Spirit dynasty. Half a year had passed. Meng Qing's tummy was getting bigger and bigger. Lin Feng didn't feel like fighting these days, because he wanted to be there for his child's birth. He had a strange feeling, he was going to become a father, he was nervous and excited at the same time. "Is there anything wrong?" Lin Feng asked someone who was waiting outside of his courtyard. A person from the Holy Spirit dynasty was there. Holy Dynasty Prince. When that person heard Lin Feng, his eyes twinkled. Lin Feng came out of his courtyard and looked at the strong cultivator who told him, "Holy Dynasty Prince, so much time has passed, shouldn't you?" Lin Feng perfectly understood. Even though the Holy Spirit dynasty liked him for his talent and they had also proclaimed him Holy Dynasty Prince, in the end, he wasn't a member of the Holy Spirit dynasty, he didn't have their blood. For them, his descendant was the important thing. "All right, don't worry," sighed Lin Feng, nodding. He had to do it. "Since you say that, I'm off," replied that person respectfully, and then left. Lin Feng took a deep breath, he had no way to avoid this. He had to do it. It was too strange for him. If he transmitted his blood to the Holy Spirit dynasty, what would be his relationship to them? He would become a member of the Holy Spirit dynasty. He would be the Holy Dynasty Prince and people would think highly of him in the Holy Spirit dynasty. They would attach importance to him. He might become a holy emperor then, or his children would. The moon was shining upon the Holy Spirit dynasty. Lin Feng appeared in a peaceful courtyard. He didn't hide. Lin Feng opened the door, there was a curtain behind it and a silhouette within. "You're here." "Yes, I am here," Lin Feng replied softly. "Wait for me." Lin Feng saw a blurry silhouette behind the curtain changing her clothes. When she was done, she laid down on the bed and said gently, "All right, come in." Lin Feng entered the room. He could see her red underwear in the moonlight. He was able to see her breasts, but she was wearing a veil on her face. She didn't want Lin Feng to see her face. Lin Feng stood there, he didn't know what to do. He was embarrassed. He shyly walked forwards. Even though she looked very attractive, Lin Feng wasn't really very aroused. "I'm ready." "I don't have any," said the voice. She was shy too. Finally, she had managed to turn Lin Feng on. He walked up to her, laid down on the bed, and touched her breasts. Her skin was very soft. Lin Feng touched her everywhere. She was laying on her belly. Lin Feng tried to turn her around, but she whispered, "Don't, it's all right like that." From behind? Lin Feng was startled. The woman had already bitten her lips to bleed. All right, Lin Feng was speechless. The Holy Spirit dynasty's people hadn't deceived him, she was really beautiful and it was her first time. He felt even more guilty. After that, Lin Feng came back to her on the 2 following evenings. Each time it was strange. After all, Lin Feng wasn't sure he could get her pregnant the first time, therefore, 3 nights, that way, it could only work. After the 3rd night, they didn't need to meet again. What a strange feeling. Lin Feng felt sad. On the 3rd night, Lin Feng also realized that the woman felt nervous, she wasn't scared, she also didn't seem to hate it, especially the last 2 nights, she had loved it. But she was acting strange. Lin Feng didn't understand why she didn't want him to see her face. Was she shy? But she had to meet him someday if she gave birth to their child. After a few days, the news spread that a princess of the Holy Spirit dynasty had become pregnant. The Holy Spirit dynasty's people were astonished. Many princesses of the dynasty were furious. When a princess had a man and a child, their child could become holy emperors or empresses. Lin Feng could only feel strange about all of it. Chapter 2039, Undercurrent. Elsewhere on the continent, there was a country dominated by snow. It was as beautiful as a painting. There were many beautiful plants there, deep-rooted in the snow, and very old. In front of the snowy tree there was an altar with many lotuses, all emitting pale lights. 3 lotuses were especially dazzling, especially the one in the middle. A celestial chi emerged from it. The lotuses were extremely beautiful, even the 3rd one, even if it wasn't as beautiful as the 2 others. Besides, the strangest thing was that there was a lotus blossom inside the lotus. It was black and a powerful chi emerged from it and filled the air. Very good. A very old woman in front of the altar was holding a scepter. When she put it on the ground, the whole country trembled. People were wondering who had made her angry. Next to her were many other old people. They all looked solemn and respectful, and they were all staring at the strange lotus. That country was the mysterious Snow Clan. These 100 years have been among the best in the world. We've become much stronger. We have 5 geniuses. 2 kings, 1 queen, they come from different tribes of the Snow Clan. Only one of them belongs to my direct bloodline. I order the 3 of them to practice different types of cultivation, one must focus on cultivation, one must focus on society, one must live in seclusion. However, because of what happened back then, someone captured Ling Long and took her away. I asked the shrine, they said she'd have an incredible fate. I agreed to let her grow up outside without disturbing her. I said when she becomes a great emperor, she must come back to the clan and get married with a king, but now she's the weakest one and she is pregnant. I trusted the shrine too much, the grandmother spoke calmly. Everybody was surprised. One of their most important descendants had become pregnant. The blood of the Snow clan was going to be mixed. When the people outside heard that, the grandmother sounded calm and serene, but the crowd knew she was truly furious. Back then, she was convinced that Ling Long would come back at some point to get married to a king from the Snow clan. But now, the blood of their precious clan had been mixed with that of a foreigner. It was a nightmare for them. And surprisingly, the Destiny Shrine had made a mistake. Ling Long was the weakest of the 3 monarchs of their clan, she was growing more slowly than the 2 others. She wasn't interested in cultivation that much and she was pregnant from an outsider. How could she have the life of a queen? She had soiled the blood of the clan. Go and check, where is she? Said the grandmother at that moment. Grandmother, said an old man next to her, Xue Shenfeng is practicing in the Dark Night region, in the Holy City. He's in Champion University. He noticed a member of the Snow clan in Champion University in the Holy City. She has a celestial chi, but she has become the wife of another student. The grandmother was furious and ice-cold lights glittered in her eyes. Go and check. Take AO out to practice and bring her back, whispered the grandmother. Everybody nodded. Xue Ling Long had appeared outside, she was pregnant, and now they had to take her back. In the ancient Jade dynasty, a special guest had arrived. The Holy Jade Princess was welcoming her, as she was from the Moon Palace. Empress, she looked at everyone icily, including Yi Renlei, and said, "Where's Lin Feng?" After having left the historical remains, Lin Feng left with people from the Holy Spirit dynasty. After that, he didn't show up again. We don't know where he is, replied one of the women. He's still in the Holy Spirit dynasty, said the Holy Jade Princess, smiling evilly. He's in the Holy Spirit dynasty and has received the legacy of the ancestors. The Holy Spirit dynasty made him reproduce with an outstanding woman of their dynasty. Lin Feng is already the Holy Dynasty Prince of the Holy Spirit dynasty. His children will become holy emperors of the Holy Spirit dynasty. Empress, she looked furious. That bastard. But now that Lin Feng had a special status in the Holy Spirit dynasty, they couldn't do much, they could only wait. A dynasty was far more terrifying than an ancient holy clan. Thank you for the pieces of information. If Lin Feng comes out, please inform me, Empress, she asked the Holy Jade Princess. The ancient Jade dynasty had power, too. If they watched someone, that person couldn't escape from them. Empress, don't worry, I will, replied the Holy Jade Princess, smiling thinly. In the Tianxi dynasty, in one of their main halls, people had gathered, looking both solemn and respectful, as they were under great pressure. Has Chen recovered? Asked the one who occupied a leader position in the room. He's okay. He will completely recover at some point, replied people who were seated lower than him. The Tianxi Celestial Emperor looked furious and said, among our best people, Yan was killed by Lin Feng and Chen had problems. Damn! And that little insolent bastard, said someone, looking at Piao Shui icily. Yan was incompetent. It has nothing to do with Piao Shui, said someone else coldly. Do you have news from Lin Feng? He's still in the Holy Spirit dynasty. He hasn't come out, said someone else. Watch him, said another celestial emperor icily. Piao Shui was stupefied, she wanted to speak up for him, but in the end she gave up. She wanted to explain that her imperial brothers had bullied Lin Feng, but there was no point. Yes, your majesty, replied someone. Lin Feng didn't know what was going on in the Snow clan, of course. He didn't know that many people were watching him either. Lin Feng spent some peaceful days. However, he was also vigilant. Meng Qing's tummy was getting bigger and bigger. He knew it was a boy, as cultivators could sense whether their future child would be a boy or a girl. Lin Feng, have you thought of a name? Asked Meng Qing. They were in his spirit world. Meng Qing and Lin Feng were seated on a blew-up-to-a lotus. It was a very romantic scene. Lin Zhetian, what do you think about it? Asked Lin Feng to Meng Qing. Lin Zhetian, whispered Meng Qing. She smiled gently and said, if you like it, I like it too. So, it'll be Lin Zhetian, said Lin Feng, raising his head and looking at the sky. He whispered, our child will become extremely strong. Someday, he'll be able to destroy the skies with one finger. Meng Qing laughed gently and snuggled into Lin Feng's arms. She whispered, what about the child you gave to the Holy Spirit dynasty? They will choose the name themselves, said Lin Feng, smiling. Outside of his world, the Holy Spirit dynasty had come to Lin Feng, but Lin Feng had left a clone outside, he didn't need to go out. Holy Dynasty Prince, said an old man, bowing before Lin Feng respectfully. What is it? Asked Lin Feng calmly. Holy Dynasty Prince, Qi Tian Holy Town is changing quickly. There are many strong cultivators here and we're under pressure. Many people are watching you. Don't go out unless it's necessary, the old man said to Lin Feng. Lin Feng was startled, many people were watching him. Back then during the battle, elders from other dynasties were there, would they dare attack me? Said Lin Feng. They won't dare attack you, of course. You're the Holy Dynasty Prince. However, the situation in Qi Tian Holy Town is chaotic these days and complex. If someone dares attack you, they won't let you know who they are, therefore, please tell us if you want to go out, said the old man. Lin Feng nodded agreeably. He hadn't been out for a while and things had changed a lot in Qi Tian Holy Town. I understand. Before his child's birth, he was going to stay in and rest. Chapter 2040, Shuaiao. Time passed. Lin Feng kept growing stronger. He had already been cleansed twice by Devamara Kulpa strength, and his Devamara body had also been cleansed twice. His physical strength had already reached the top of the Huang Qi layer. At that moment, Lin Feng could really sense how powerful the indestructible Devamara body was. After having his Devamara body cleansed 3 more times and after being cleansed 3 more times by Devamara Kulpa strength, he would have no enemies anymore at the level of the Huang Qi layer. Lin Feng was wondering whether, if he continued on this path, if he would have the physical strength of a great emperor. That way, he would be sure to have no problems at all. Something else made Lin Feng speechless those days. Meng Qing had been pregnant for a year and their baby hadn't been born yet. Lin Feng had always said he wanted his first child with Meng Qing, but now the plan was probably ruined. Meng Qing didn't mind, though. Even though she had turned into a human being, she was actually Shui Ling Long, so that probably explained why Lin Zhetian hadn't been born yet. Lin Feng arrived in the concubine's courtyard, the beautiful woman was holding a baby, she looked calm and serene. When she heard Lin Feng, she quickly turned away. Lin Feng was speechless, you really don't want me to see your face? You came to see the child. I called him Lin Qiongsheng, he will definitely be very talented. When he's 2, nature pills, come and hug him, said the girl in a hoarse voice. She stretched her arms left, but didn't turn around. All right. Even though Lin Feng didn't understand why she didn't want him to see her face and the 3 nights had been really strange, he respected her. He walked to her and grabbed the child. He had beautiful eyes. Lin Feng recognized some of his facial features, he couldn't help but smile, I'm your daddy. In the future, Lin Qiongsheng, take care of your mummy. The little boy looked at Lin Feng, his eyes twinkling. Lin Feng felt so happy. He gave back Lin Qiongsheng to his mother and smiled. If you need anything, contact me. All right, the woman nodded. Lin Feng walked away and left. After he left, the beautiful woman turned around and said, Lin Xiongsheng, do you know why I gave you that name? Because it's your mother and father's story. You're the hope of the Holy Spirit dynasty. Unfortunately, you will never be like your father because your mother will never be able to leave the Holy Spirit dynasty. I understand your father. I will do my best to protect him. Phew, the woman heard someone sigh. The woman was startled and her expression changed. She looked solemn and respectful. She also felt pressured and said indifferently, Come in. A silhouette entered. Lin Feng would have been surprised if he had been there, because it was the Holy Emperor of the Holy Spirit dynasty. You've known each other for a while, why didn't you want him to see you? Asked the Holy Emperor. It's none of your business, said the woman indifferently. You're worried about the agreement with the Holy Mother. She's used the strength of the altar to give you all she could. She hopes you can become a protector of the Holy Spirit dynasty. You promised her, so you can't leave. So even if you show Lin Feng your face, what's the problem? Even if he can't stay here, he would come to see you quite often, wouldn't it be great? What if he wants to take me away? Replied the girl. The Holy Emperor was surprised. I don't think I could refuse, said the woman, smiling gently. If Lin Feng wanted to take her away, would she refuse? If she left, what would she do? What about the strength of the sacrificial altar? She had two choices, no matter what, it would be painful. If Lin Feng knew, he'd be sad and tormented. She didn't want two people to suffer, one was enough. And she could stay with their child and raise him. Wait until Qiongsheng is a grown-up and has received the legacy of the Holy Dynasty Prince, then you'll be able to go with him, said the Holy Emperor in a low voice, before he turned around and left. Back in the days, the Holy Spirit dynasty had a Holy Mother, however, she hadn't managed to reach a certain level, she had made a cultivation mistake and had been severely injured. Therefore, she had decided to sacrifice herself and give this woman everything she had. Even though she wasn't a member of the Holy Spirit dynasty, she had their blood. Xiongsheng, hurry up and grow up, said the woman, kissing the baby with much love. A group of people arrived at the Qinzi dynasty, wearing snow-white robes. They all had an extraordinary qi, especially the leader of the group. He looked ice-cold, and his qi was bestial. People had the distinct impression he was aggressive and violent, and kept their distance from him. Who are you and what are you doing here in the Qinzi dynasty? Asked a guard at that moment. However, when the guard sensed the young man's qi, they shivered, as these people were extraordinary. We came to see your Holy Emperor, said the young man icily, and then continued flying forwards. Your Excellency, if you want to see our Holy Emperor, just wait and we'll inform them, said the guards. The arrogant young man suddenly released a terrifyingly cold qi, shouting furiously, insolent. He stopped and released even more qi. With a glance at the crowd, he waved his hands and two beasts appeared, while the air started freezing. The beasts roared in a deadly rage. The two guards could only look desperate and scream as the two snow beasts devoured them. The young man shook his sleeves as if nothing had happened and continued striding forwards. At the same time, he shouted furiously, Holy Emperor, come out and see me. Who dares act that insolently in the Qinzi dynasty? Many voices shouted back icily. Great imperial qi filled the air. A great emperor arrived and saw Shuai-Ao. However, Shuai-Ao merely grunted icily and the air started freezing again. He stretched out his hands and a snowy path appeared, moving straight towards the great emperor. Piss off, shouted the great emperor. A snow spear appeared and shot towards Shuai-Ao. At the same time, a domain filling the air Dao strength appeared. Arg! Explosions sounded, a snow-filled territory appeared behind the snow young man. The sky seemed to be bearing down, as if millions of mammoths were falling from the sky, and the air creaked and groaned. The incoming spear broke apart. At the same time, Shuai-Ao continued moving forwards and raised his hands, aiming at the man's head. The great emperor pulled a long face. He moved like water, trying to dodge. Explode, shouted the young man furiously. The beasts roared furiously as the air kept exploding. The great emperor dodged away, but his body kept breaking apart. He shrieked horribly, even as Shuai grabbed his head and blew it apart. He considered everybody and everything beneath his notice. Many more cultivators arrived very quickly. Great imperial qi rose up in the air. Many great emperors appeared before the young man, but when they saw him, his clothes, and the people behind him, their expressions changed slightly. The leader stopped, prevented the others from attacking, and asked politely, "You're from the Snow Clan, Your Excellency?" "Snow Clan, Shuai," declared the young man icily. The crowd from the Tianxi dynasty were astonished. The Snow Clan, this young man was terrifyingly strong. The great emperors of the Tianxi dynasty couldn't compete with him. "What is the Snow Clan doing here? And why attack our people? We've heard that Lin Feng from the Holy City had spent some time here, where is he?" Shuai asked icily. "Lin Feng?" The Tianxi were stunned. The Tianxi leader said, "We invited Lin Feng to come here, but right now he's in the Holy Spirit dynasty. I don't care where he is. Within 3 days, go and see him, and make him come here," said Shuai, furiously releasing explosive qi. The cultivators behind him remained silent, as Shuai was terrifying. The two kings of the Snow Clan were completely different. Shuai was violent, brutal and aggressive. He angered easily. Chapter 2041, Two Taoist priests. The Tianxi cultivators all grimaced, but they couldn't do much against the aggressive prince of the Snow Clan. The strong cultivators who were behind him hadn't even got involved either. The young men of the Snow Clan had come to the Tianxi dynasty and dared attack their people. If it had been anyone else, the Tianxi dynasty would have killed them already, but the Snow Clan was a powerful and mysterious clan, and the Tianxi dynasty couldn't afford to offend them. Therefore, even though they were furious, they didn't say anything. The Snow Clan cultivators had come for Lin Feng, but unfortunately, they had come to the Tianxi dynasty to find him. "We will dispatch people to find him and make him come. Please, you are guests here. Kindly do not cause trouble here," said the old man of the Tianxi's group. He was furious but didn't show it. He could only deal with them pragmatically. They were the weaker force here, the Snow Clan was stronger than they were. The atmosphere calmed down. The Tianxi cultivators were furious, but they remained silent. The Snow Clan cultivators, especially great emperors, were terrifying. Lin Feng didn't know that the Snow Clan had come to Qi Tian Holy Town to find him, but the Holy Spirit dynasty already knew about it. When the Tianxi cultivators came to the Holy Spirit dynasty, the Holy Spirit cultivators could only welcome them. "I'm going straight to the point. A member of the Snow Clan who has a king-type body has come to the Tianxi dynasty and he's looking for Lin Feng," the Tianxi cultivator informed them. The strong cultivator of the Holy Spirit dynasty flung his sleeves and said, "If people want to harm Lin Feng, we won't let him go. Lin Feng is the Holy Dynasty Prince of the Holy Spirit dynasty now, so I understand you want to protect him. Nonetheless, Lin Feng must go this time, otherwise, the Snow Clan cultivators will be furious and will come to the Holy Spirit dynasty," said the Tianxi cultivator icily. The Snow Clan cultivators seemed insane. If one cultivator dared cause trouble and attack people in the Tianxi dynasty, what else might he do? And could the Holy Spirit dynasty deal with him? No need to talk that much anyway. They said that you have 3 days to deliver Lin Feng. "I'm off," said the Tianxi cultivator icily. Then, he flung his sleeves and left. The strong cultivators of the Holy Spirit dynasty flung their sleeves, all of them pulling long faces. If it had been anyone else, the Holy Spirit dynasty could have done something, any other dynasty, or any other clan. But this time, it was the Snow Clan, and the Snow Clan didn't fear Shi Ju Lao Xian. At that moment, a silhouette appeared, and everybody raised their heads. Holy Emperor. All right, said the Holy Emperor, waving to acknowledge everyone. Everybody sat down, one person speaking up, Holy Emperor, the Snow Clan has come to cause trouble. They want to find Lin Feng, but Lin Feng is meditating in seclusion and practicing cultivation. If we don't tell them anything, they won't know what he's doing and where he is. What should we do? The Snow Clan. The Holy Emperor was stupefied. Why was the Snow Clan looking for Lin Feng? If the problem was too important, things could get serious for the Holy Spirit dynasty, and they wouldn't be able to keep the situation under control. I'm going to find Lin Feng and then I'll decide what to do, said the Holy Emperor calmly, before proceeding to leave. He had to understand what the Snow Clan wanted from Lin Feng first. The Holy Emperor left and went to find Lin Feng. When Lin Feng saw the Holy Emperor, he was surprised. Lin Feng, I need to ask you something. There is no harm in saying what one thinks, Holy Emperor, said Lin Feng agreeably. Are there tensions between you and the Snow Clan? Asked the Holy Emperor. Lin Feng was startled. The Holy Emperor had come personally to ask him that. There was something going on obviously. Master, have the Snow Clan come to Chi Tian Holy Town? Asked Lin Feng, without answering the question. The Holy Emperor realized it was a serious problem. Some cultivators from the Snow Clan have arrived at the Tianxi dynasty. They said that they wanted to see you within 3 days, and some people from the Tianxi dynasty just came to us, the Holy Emperor informed him calmly. However, Lin Feng sensed that he was feeling nervous. How many strong cultivators? Asked Lin Feng. One of them has a king-type body. Some old men and younger ones also followed him, said the Holy Emperor. Lin Feng understood that they had come for Meng Qing, and felt the pressure. The Holy Emperor of the Holy Spirit dynasty had come personally. It meant that the Snow Clan was extremely powerful. It was difficult to imagine. If there is a big problem, the Holy Spirit dynasty is willing to bear the pressure for you, said the Holy Emperor. Lin Feng looked at him deeply. He was trying to understand if he really meant it or not. If the Holy Spirit dynasty really dared protect him, the Holy Emperor wouldn't have come personally. Of course, Lin Feng couldn't blame them. Even though he had an unusual position within the Holy Spirit dynasty, if the tensions between him and the Snow Clan were too serious, how could the Holy Spirit dynasty bear the pressure for him? They couldn't afford to offend the Snow Clan, otherwise the consequences would be too serious. When the Holy Emperor saw Lin Feng's expression, he made up his mind, he turning around and leaving. At the same time, he said, Lin Feng, I will organize a banquet for the Snow Clan's cultivators. Even if they are strong enough, they probably won't dare attack you in the Holy Spirit dynasty. At least, we'll do our best to make them keep calm, and if you put pressure on them, then that's the best. Thank you very much, Holy Emperor, Lin Feng replied gratefully. He watched the Holy Emperor leave. If the Snow Clan's cultivators had come to kidnap him, they wouldn't have sent people of the same age, they would have immediately oppressed him and the Holy Spirit dynasty. Lin Feng was already grateful. The Snow Clan was probably stronger than most imperial clans and ancient holy clans, and Meng Qing was probably a holy maiden from the Snow Clan. The feast day was set. The Holy Spirit dynasty would receive the cultivators of the Snow Clan as well as the geniuses of Chi Tian Holy Town. Of course, some outsiders who had come for the historical remains would also attend. When the news spread, the members of the Tianxi dynasty looked happy, gloating over the Holy Spirit dynasty's misfortune. The Holy Spirit dynasty was protecting Lin Feng, and had invited so many geniuses, doubtless they were trying to put pressure on the Snow Clan. After the news spread, there were no ill consequences, which surprised the Tianxi dynasty. People hadn't heard anything about Lin Feng for nearly a year. Some people were surprised that he was even in the Holy Spirit dynasty, and now the dynasty was even inviting the Snow Clan. The gossips couldn't wait to see what was going to happen. In the saint's world, Wang Jian was seated on a mountain, his aura sharp and ready. He hadn't left the historical remains, the members of his clan had also joined him to hunt for treasures in the historical remains. However, they hadn't obtained much. Back then, they had wanted to steal Lin Feng's treasures, but then he had surprised them by killing Prince Yen. On a flatland of the Saints' World, Chu Chun Chiu looked in the direction of the Holy Spirit dynasty. During this past year, he had become much stronger. His eyes glittered with subdued fury. He looked like a real king. Chu Chun Chiu wasn't interested in the historical remains as much as those searching for them. Apart from treasures, he was especially interested in people's lives and souls. At the same time, white clouds rolled in waves up in the sky. There were many people gathered on a white cloud. At the forefront were two people, both strangely dressed. There was a Taoist priest, posing as person of high morals, and next to him, there was a little Taoist priest. Good heavens, I haven't seen that little boy for so many years, and he's causing trouble again, said the Taoist priest, who had the demeanor of a transcendent being. Teacher, that's Lin Feng, said the young Taoist priest next to him, smiling. He looked a bit afraid of his teacher. Yes, back then, Lin Feng was an ordinary cultivator, but then I became his teacher, I taught him a lot, he became that way thanks to me. That's why he's famous in Chi Tian Holy Town. If he hadn't left me, he would have become even stronger. He's not like you though, he could kill you with one finger. You're a disgrace. But you're lucky to have found me. Thanks to me, you will definitely become a terrifying cultivator, said the Taoist priest solemnly. The little Taoist priest next to him winced. Lin Feng used to be an ordinary cultivator. Back then, the diviner had said he would become a terrifying cultivator if he didn't die and wanted to recruit him. Now the Taoist priest was saying that Lin Feng had become so strong thanks to him. Of course, the disciple was not going to say anything out loud, and the Taoist priest was extremely strong, that was undeniable. So you think that if I stay with you, I'll become even stronger than Lin Feng, teacher? Asked the little Taoist priest calmly. Not necessarily. You met me a bit too late, maybe. You could, but Lin Feng met me when he was very young. Of course, you have already become a medium-level emperor thanks to me. If you hadn't met me, you would not have become a medium-level emperor so quickly, replied the Taoist priest. The little Taoist priest sighed and asked, Where are we going, teacher? We're going to the Holy Spirit dynasty. Lin Feng is my disciple. Even though he's a bit famous, he's still very young and he has offended the Snow clan. I must intervene, said the Taoist priest. The little Taoist priest had cold sweats and exclaimed, You're really strong, teacher. Yes, said the Taoist priest proudly. They were en route for the Holy Spirit dynasty. Chapter 2042, Before the storm. Lin Feng was in his spirit world, seated in front of Qin Shan. He released soul strength and put it into Qin Shan. Master, I'm sorry for disturbing you, said Lin Feng. Qin Shan's consciousness condensed. Do you need help? Asked Qin Shan. Yes, Master, I need your help. I might be in trouble soon, otherwise, I wouldn't have come disturb you, said Lin Feng. Without Qin Shan's help, Lin Feng would be in trouble. Lin Zhetian was going to be born soon, the Snow clan was putting pressure on him, and many people in Chi Tian Holy Town were watching him. He needed someone powerful to help him. Alright, but remember to ask me for help when you really need it, because after a great fight, I might lose control over this body. I will need to sleep for a very long time, and I won't be able to help you again. With such a little thread of consciousness, I won't be able to use my full strength that many times, said Qin Shan. Lin Feng was grateful and replied, I will choose the best time to call you. When I become stronger, I'll find a doctor for you, I hope to bring you back to life like before. You're kind. Come, try and put your soul into my brain. We'll try to control my body together. After a battle, you'll also become weaker, and you won't be able to control my body, and you will also need much vitality and vigor. You will also need time to recover. I understand. Lin Feng replied. He put his soul into Qin Shan's body. He tried to fuse together with his consciousness to control the ancient body. Walking around was no problem, but fighting was another story. Lin Feng didn't want to use the ancient body, it was bad for both Qin Shan and him, but this was for Meng Qing. This wasn't a game, it was deadly serious. The two Taoist priests arrived in front of the Holy Spirit dynasty. The guards looked at them and shivered. What was going in Chi Tian Holy Town? The Snow clan had come to the Tianxi dynasty, they were aggressive and violent. Now some strong cultivators were in front of the Holy Spirit dynasty. An old man behind them was trembling. Masters, what are you doing in the Holy Spirit dynasty? If you need anything, I'll inform the leaders, asked the guard, extremely politely. Good heavens, I'm your Holy Dynasty Prince's teacher. I came to see him, said the Taoist priest with his palms together. He sounded solemn and respectful. The guards looked at him respectfully and bowed. I'm going to inform our Holy Dynasty Prince then. All right, I will wait here, said the Taoist priest indifferently. He looked noble and strong. In the distance, many people looked at him and started immediately gossiping. That Taoist priest looks extraordinary and extremely strong. There are many strong cultivators with him. And surprisingly, he is the Holy Dynasty Prince's teacher. No wonder the Holy Dynasty Prince was so strong, he had an incredible teacher who looks unfathomable and enigmatic. Yes, the Taoist priest really looks extraordinary, and now he came to see the Holy Dynasty Prince. The Taoist priest ignored what the people were saying. When Lin Feng heard the guard, he was stunned. His teacher. His eyes twinkled and he asked, and what does he look like? He's a Taoist priest, he said. Good heavens, when he arrived. He is with many other powerful cultivators. He came to see you, relayed the guard. Lin Feng finally understood, he smiled and said, that old bastard is here. Old bastard? The guard shook his head when he heard Lin Feng talk about the Taoist priest like that. He noted that Lin Feng and the Taoist priest were close, the Taoist priest hadn't lied. After a short time, Lin Feng walked out to the gate. When he saw the Taoist priest, he smiled at him and said, Bastard, since when are you my teacher? Yen Di said, Little bastard, now that you've become an extremely strong cultivator, you've forgotten about me. All right, I became strong thanks to you, said Lin Feng, smiling happily. He looked at the small Taoist priest next to him. The little Taoist priest looked happy and said to Lin Feng, back then, let's forget about the tensions, now, I'm our teacher's disciple. We are fellow disciples, and now you're the Holy Dynasty Prince. You know many ancient techniques, I hope I can learn from you. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and replied, Fu Hei, I had not anticipated that you'd become his disciple. Fu Hei smiled. Let's not talk about that. Let's exchange views on cultivation, teach me some techniques. The Taoist priest tapped Fu Hei's head and said, Don't think you can do anything because you're my disciple. I learned that from you, protested Fu Hei, smiling wryly. All right, come with me, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng was really happy that Yen Di had come. Lin Feng, the Snow clan came because of Meng Qing, right? Yen Di asked Lin Feng, as they strolled back to his place. She has a king-type body of the Snow clan. They obviously came for Meng Qing, I don't know why they're doing that, Meng Qing never goes out, replied Lin Feng. You underestimate the Snow clan. The Snow clan is very powerful. They're not as strong as they once were, but they're still very strong. They have some terrifying spells you can't imagine, Yen Di said calmly. Where is Meng Qing? She's pregnant and the Snow clan came precisely at that moment. Old bastard, help me, said Lin Feng, directly asking for help. No need to think too much, it's an easy thing, said Yen Di, rolling his eyes. Lin Feng was surprised. Easy? How to solve the problem? Asked Lin Feng, his eyes twinkling. Give Meng Qing back to the Snow Clan, said Yan Di. Piss off, said Lin Feng. He looked even more furious than Fu Hei had. What a bastard. The Snow Clan has dispatched people to find Meng Qing. They care about her. She won't be in danger there. I don't know what the Snow Clan thinks of the child, though. They won't kill him, since she's one of them. Said Yan Di. But you did a good job. The Snow Clan will definitely want to kill you. You are under pressure. If you don't give Meng Qing back, they'll definitely kill you. Impossible, Meng Qing must stay with me. If you don't want to help me, then fine, replied Lin Feng, annoyed now. You need an army to block them, said Yan Di, waving his hands. Anyway, with me here, they won't dare annoy you. After all, I'm your teacher. Yan Di was really shameless. Back in the days, Lin Feng used to ride him when he was still Cheong Qi. Back then, Cheong Qi also used to eat his abstruse energy crystals. Remembering those things, Lin Feng laughed. Finally, it was the day of the banquet. Many strong cultivators arrived in the Holy Spirit dynasty. Many people wanted to see what would happen between Lin Feng and the Snow Clan. Why was the Snow Clan angry at him? Because of it, the dynasties were also involved. In a courtyard, a woman in black clothes handed Lin Qiongsheng over to someone. Her beautiful eyes twinkled, she looked angry. Nobody could touch Lin Feng, including the Snow Clan. Chapter 2043, discussing the problem. The Holy Spirit dynasty organized the banquet. Even though the goal was to discuss Lin Feng's problem, the Holy Emperor of the Holy Spirit dynasty welcomed the guests. Everybody found that strange. The Holy Emperor had appeared personally, so he could act as a mediator and reduce the pressure. With the Holy Emperor present, it would be difficult to oppress the Holy Spirit dynasty, and the Holy Emperor also attached great importance to Lin Feng. Many strong cultivators from the Qin dynasty were there, too. Lin Feng had obtained their ancestors' technique. They wanted it, no matter what. The members of the ancient Jade dynasty also came, along with people of the Moon Palace. Empress She was there. There were 3 old men who looked unfathomable and enigmatic. Of course, apart from the dynasties, there were some ancient holy clans. Wang Jian's ancient holy clan also arrived. Zhuo Qin's group also came. Geniuses and strong cultivators from many different places were all in attendance. Everybody, come and have a seat, said the Holy Spirit dynasty's Holy Emperor patiently. The crowd sat down and waited patiently. The Snow Clan and the Tianxi dynasty's members hadn't arrived. They were the real protagonists. A cold qi emerged all about them. The temperature dropped down, and snowflakes appeared. The Snow Clan is here, thought the crowd. Another group of people had arrived. They were wearing snowy white robes, and looked proud and arrogant. The young man at the very front looked incredible, like a real warrior. His eyes were bestial. He looked like someone who could burst into violence at any time. The members of the Tianxi dynasty arrived, but they stayed back, as if all that had nothing to do with them. What about Lin Feng, said Shuai-ao, looking over the crowd icily. Snow Clan, your presence brings light to our humble dwelling. Please come and have a seat, said the Holy Emperor of the Holy Spirit dynasty. He didn't reply to the question. Where's Lin Feng? Asked Shuai-ao again, coldly. He didn't give the Holy Emperor any face. He was a beast from the Snow Clan, and very aggressive. In the kingdom of the Snow Clan, nobody could compare with Shuai-ao. You're looking for the Holy Dynasty Prince, what is the reason? Asked the Holy Emperor calmly. We're here to kill him. Shuai-ao's eyes glittered with cold lights. Kill him? The Snow Clan wanted to kill Lin Feng. What had he done to offend them? An eerie silence invaded the atmosphere when he said that. The Snow Clan had come to the Holy Spirit dynasty to kill their Holy Dynasty Prince. How scary. Shuai was staring at the Holy Emperor, waiting for him to react. Would they hand Lin Feng over? The Holy Emperor hadn't thought the situation would be so bad. A cultivator of the Snow clan who had a king-type body had come to Chi Tian Holy Town to kill Lin Feng. What if I refuse? The Holy Emperor remained silent for a few seconds and finally asked. He sounded indifferent, even though he was smiling. Shuai stepped forwards and released a terrifying amount of bestial qi. If Lin Feng doesn't come out, we'll kill the members of the Holy Spirit dynasty until he comes out, snarled Shuai aggressively. He looked furious and scornful. Who would dare attack him if he started killing them? The Holy Emperor remained silent. Someone near to him said indifferently, Holy Emperor Lin Feng is not from the Holy Spirit dynasty. No need to protect him. Since he has received the legacy of our ancestors, just ask him to transmit his knowledge to us. No need to offend other people. I'm from the Qin dynasty, I also want Lin Feng to transmit our ancestors' knowledge to us. Lin Feng is insolent. He killed Prince Yan. Now the Snow clan wants to kill him, the Holy Spirit dynasty doesn't need to get involved. But before killing him, we want to get the skeleton he's obtained, spoke up a Tianxi cultivator. They're basically throwing stones at someone who has fallen down a well, thought the crowd. Nobody dared steal things directly from Lin Feng, but now they had an opportunity to join hands with the Snow clan to steal his treasures. According to rumor, Lin Feng also has the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures. Since he's going to die, we can also share them, said someone else icily. The Holy Spirit dynasty was coming under great pressure. The dynasties could benefit from the situation, all thanks to the Snow clan. Everybody watched at the Holy Emperor of the Holy Spirit dynasty. Holy Emperor Ling, hand Lin Feng over. Lin Feng has offended too many people. Holy Emperor Ling, don't be stubborn. The situation is too serious. The pressure was intense. So many people want to kill me, said someone indifferently at that moment. Lin Feng came out of a palace with other people. Everybody turned to look at him. Lin Feng. People's eyes twinkled coldly. Lin Feng had dared to come out. Lin Feng had dared come out, and now he even sat down. There was a Taoist priest next to him, composed and unmoved. When he arrived, he exclaimed, "Good heavens," and many people rolled their eyes. Where were these people from? The people who had come with Lin Feng looked terrifying, unfathomable, and enigmatic. "You're Lin Feng," said Shuai, staring at Lin Feng and releasing bestial qi. A hurricane appeared around him. He looked ferocious, ready to pounce. "Where's Shui Ling Long?" demanded Shuai icily. Lin Feng looked at him indifferently. What an arrogant little beast. Then, he looked elsewhere, ignoring him. Shuai suddenly looked amused. His bestial qi became even thicker. He suddenly turned into a blur of light and charged Lin Feng. As he did, an old man behind Lin Feng opened his eyes and looked at Shuai icily. Suddenly, lights moved towards him. The air began to warp. Shuai groaned and released a terrifying strength, explosively facing off against the older man, and was hurled away helplessly. At the same time, the Snow clan cultivators released a terrifying qi altogether. Everybody felt ice cold. "Do you know what you're doing?" shouted an old man of the Snow clan, staring at Lin Feng's group. The Taoist priest closed his eyes and replied indifferently, "Good heavens." Eh? The old man stared at the Taoist priest icily. "Your Excellency, I've seen too many little beasts like you. You can become my pets, I'll help you broaden your knowledge, and that way, you will stop losing face," said the old Taoist priest, shaking his head and staring at the Snow clan cultivators. The members of the Snow clan were stupefied. Everybody else was stunned too, actually. That old Taoist priest was acting too recklessly, he was humiliating the Snow clan. Become his pets. Broaden the Snow Clan's knowledge. What did you say? Demanded the Snow Clan's strong cultivator icily. They couldn't believe it. That old Taoist priest was humiliating the Snow Clan. Good heavens, not only don't you want to broaden your knowledge, but you also don't understand what I'm saying. It seems I can't help you after all, the old Taoist priest sighed. Insolent, shouted the old man explosively. The atmosphere around him started freezing. The palace behind them even disappeared under snowflakes. You want to die? Teacher, they are bad people, and they even dare say we want to die, the little black Taoist priest asked the older one. They think they can kill us, they think we won't react, explained the old Taoist priest patiently. Oh, why wouldn't we strike back if they attacked us? Asked the little Taoist priest, frowning. They should listen to us carefully next time, said the old Taoist priest, calmly patting the young one's shoulder. The members of the Snow Clan all pulled long faces. Chapter 2044, Yendi's craziness. The Snow Clan cultivators were furious. People were humiliating them in front of everybody. Everybody was amused, but nobody dared show it. They were wondering where those people came from. They were definitely brave. They dared make fun of the Snow Clan in front of everybody. Very few people dared do that. The space around them was already completely frozen. An old man of the Snow Clan looked furious and stared at Yendi, spitting out, "Are you from the Holy Spirit dynasty?" "We're not." "I know, you're disappointed," said Yendi, laughing. "I'm a very old cultivator of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. Are you interested in becoming my pet? Your clan was destroyed once 10,000 years ago, now we're going to destroy it once again," said the old man icily. The people behind Yendi opened their eyes, and rather suddenly, the ice broke apart. However, Yendi waved his hand, making everyone recall their chi before he closed his eyes. The old man of the Snow Clan groaned icily. He was going crazy. "I've heard of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan, they're going to be destroyed again since they're acting recklessly," swore Shuai-Ao furiously. "Old buddy, when beasts haven't really transformed into human beings, they're still as stupid as before, right?" Lin Feng asked Yendi. "Seems like it," Yendi nodded. "I think so too." "How do they even dare threaten us?" said Fu Hei, shaking his head. "Poor Tianxi dynasty, these people went to their dynasty and killed their people. The Snow Clan dares bully them. Is that why the dynasties of Qi Tian Holy Town haven't received the legacy of their ancestors for such a long time? Because they can't kill such people," wondered Fu Hei. "We can't blame the Tianxi dynasty. Even though they're cowards, they can't compete with the Snow Clan, so they're just vigilant," Yendi sighed. The members of the Snow Clan and the Tianxi dynasty all pulled long faces. "Oh, so the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan doesn't need to fear them in case they want to get their revenge?" asked Fu Hei fatuously. "Little boy, you're smart. What should we do?" "They dared threaten us and said they would destroy the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan," asked Fu Hei, smiling broadly. "Of course, who can threaten me?" said the old Taoist priest nodding. He looked at the people behind him and said, "If you hear them make impertinent remarks about our clan again, kill the little beasts which keeps barking. You're insolent." The members of the Snow Clan started walking forwards and releasing chi. "Who's barking again?" Explosions and crackling of chi in conflict rose. When the members of the Snow Clan started walking towards them, Yendi smashed the table in front of him and it exploded. He stood up, his hair messy and fluttering in the wind. The strong cultivators of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan also started walking and releasing a truly horrifying chi. The members of the Snow Clan all froze in place and stared at Yendi. They all pulled long faces. "You think I'm a little beast, too?" said Yendi. Flames of fury were burning in his eyes. He then said icily, "You're threatening us? I've seen many, many people like you, even thousands of years ago. I'm not afraid of a few little beasts. If you say anything, I just have to raise my hand, and you'll, all, die. Yan Di didn't look like a nice and gentle Taoist priest anymore, he was releasing an ominous qi. The members of the Snow clan remained very silent at that moment, their hearts pounding in very unfamiliar fear. Some other people looked at Yan Di and were jealous, he was so strong and arrogant. He was definitely crazy, humiliating the members of the Snow clan and making them shut up. The strangest thing was that the Snow clan, who had dared go to the Tianxi dynasty and kill people, shut up when Yan Di threatened them. The crowd was astonished. The members of the Snow clan were furious, but they didn't dare say anything. Everybody was afraid of crazy people. The Tianxi dynasty couldn't afford to offend the Snow clan, none of the dynasties couldn't afford to offend them, actually. But that old Taoist priest did dare to offend them, so he was definitely crazy. Lin Feng smiled indifferently. His old buddy was definitely fearless and crazy. Yan Di always went too far. Yan Di smiled indifferently when he saw the Snow clan had shut up. He reclaimed the demeanor of a transcendent being again. He smiled and said, "Don't look so serious. I just asked you to shut up. Don't be nervous. I just don't like it when little animals bark unceasingly. Just stay calm." Yan Di sat down slowly again as if nothing had happened. However, the members of the Snow clan continued remaining silent. As Yan Di had said, he just wanted them to shut up. The strong cultivators of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan were there, and could crush them. Yan Di had even said he would kill Shuai if they continued being annoying. They couldn't afford to lose him. They had come to kill Lin Feng, and in the end, they had to shut up. Oh, and someone said they wanted the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures which belong to my Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. If anyone needs them, please tell me. I'll come to your dynasty or clan personally. Maybe I'll give them to you if I'm in a good mood, said Yan Di to the crowd, smiling broadly. He looked nice and gentle, completely different from a few moments before. The members of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan were fearless. They didn't even fear the Snow clan. Actually, the cultivators Yan Di had brought were all Celestial Emperors and Saint Emperors. Apart from the little Taoist priest, the weakest cultivator was Yan Di himself. He was only a great emperor. Yan Di shrugged and smiled at Lin Feng. "All right, it's your turn." Lin Feng smiled and stood up. He walked to the crowd and looked at the members of the Tianxi dynasty. He smiled and said, "Prince Yan wanted to steal my treasures, so I killed him. If you want to avenge his death, I'm here. Come and attack." The members of the Tianxi dynasty looked furious. Everybody had seen Lin Feng and Prince Yan's battle. If they killed Lin Feng because of that, wouldn't there be consequences? Impossible. The consequences would be terrifying for the Tianxi dynasty. Besides, if they killed Lin Feng and obtained nothing, it would be even more tragic. Everybody had acted arrogantly just now, they had all said they wanted to kill Lin Feng because the Snow clan had the advantage. Now that the members of the Snow clan had shut up, who could kill Lin Feng? The Holy Emperor of the Tianxi dynasty wasn't that stupid. He grunted coldly and said, "If I kill you, everybody will make fun of me." "So, you were just joking," smiled Lin Feng. Then, he looked at the members of the Qin dynasty and observed, "The Qin dynasty said they wanted to kill me, please attack if you want to kill me." The members of the Qin dynasty looked at the Snow clan's people. They couldn't kill Lin Feng, they needed the Snow clan's help to do so. The Snow clan couldn't say anything, though. So the elders of the Qin dynasty were joking too. What about the others? What about those people who wanted to kill me? Many people grimaced. They would have never thought the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan would appear out of nowhere and get involved. Staying in the Holy Spirit dynasty is useless. "Let's leave," someone spoke up at that moment. The crowd was startled, their eyes twinkling. It was Empress Shi. Many people were surprised, but nodded agreement. The Snow Clan was under immense pressure, and couldn't say anything. They had to leave the Holy Spirit dynasty and gather outside. Good day. The members of the Qin dynasty stood up and started leaving. The members of the Snow Clan turned around and left too. Lin Feng watched them go coldly and said, "Those people will regroup and come back even stronger." Of course. They'll try to form a group, but other people won't dare touch you. They'll ask the Snow Clan to kill you, though. The others will try to resist the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan and the Holy Spirit Dynasty, observed Yen Di. As they had said, those people left and talked about a strategy. They didn't go far from the Holy Spirit Dynasty. So many strong cultivators had gathered and been humiliated, could they leave like that without doing anything? Was that even possible? Little boy, I can't do much. You'll have to rely on yourself, Yen Di sighed. Lin Feng remained silent and nodded that he understood the situation. Chapter 2045, Suffocating Hurricane. The Holy Emperor of the Holy Spirit Dynasty came over to Lin Feng and said, "Lin Feng, the Snow Clan wants to kill you. The others want to take advantage of that situation. It's not over. I understand. Protect her and the child, though," said Lin Feng calmly. The Holy Spirit Holy Emperor's eyes twinkled. He was relieved. They were different from Yen Di and the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan, who had come confident and at ease. They could kill anyone they wanted. Yen Di had dared act that way, but the Holy Spirit Dynasty was different. The members of the Snow Clan and the dynasties understood that, therefore, the Snow Clan feared Yen Di because Yen Di would have really killed Shuaiao. The Tianxi dynasty couldn't do anything against Yen Di either. Lin Qiongsheng will become a holy emperor in the future. You don't need to worry about her. She's safe here. Even if you can't protect her, it doesn't matter, said the holy emperor. Besides, I will dispatch some strong cultivators of the Holy Spirit dynasty to follow you. That'll remove some pressure from your back. Leave the Snow Clan to me. Pay attention to the Moon Palace. The others won't dare do anything if the Snow Clan doesn't attack first, said Yen Di calmly. Everybody nodded. Then, the Holy Emperor waved his hand and some strong cultivators' silhouettes flickered and appeared behind him. Let's go out, said Lin Feng calmly. He started walking away. When they left the Holy Spirit dynasty, they sensed a terrifying qi. After Lin Feng and the others left, someone wearing a black cloak appeared, looking nervous. She watched Lin Feng leave, and followed behind. Outside of the Holy Spirit dynasty, when the group saw Lin Feng's people, they were startled. It's Lin Feng, he took the initiative to come out. The Snow Clan will capture Lin Feng. The others blocked the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan, someone ordered. However, Lin Feng's group of people didn't stop. They flew away at full speed. Chase them. Many incredibly strong cultivators took off at their full speed. The air was shrieking from their passage. Who are those people? They look so strong. How strong? Many incredible cultivators. Many people on the roads of Chi Tian Holy Town were astonished. It was a dangerous, thrilling sight. Today, the Holy Spirit dynasty organized a banquet for Lin Feng and the Snow Clan. Maybe that's them. Possibly. A great war is going to happen. The big group of people drew many people's attention. Lin Feng and the others arrived in a vast place and stopped, landing on the ground, which exploded under their feet. Pieces of stones flew in all directions. Clouds rolled back in the sky, and the winds became chaotic. The strong cultivators who were chasing them stopped and dispersed, then they surrounding Lin Feng and the others. Is the Holy Spirit dynasty still going to get involved? The Tianxi Holy Emperor demanded icily. The atmosphere was terribly oppressive. The Holy Spirit dynasty isn't going to get involved in the Snow Clan and Lin Feng's affairs. If anyone else wants to attack Lin Feng, they should think carefully, though. After all, we're not the only dynasty who has a holy emperor, said Holy Emperor Ling indifferently. His people were standing around Lin Feng, too. The crowd watched the Snow Clan cultivators. An ice-cold qi began to creep through the air. In response, the cultivators next to Yan Di stepped forwards and released energies, which surrounded Shui Ao. The Snow Clan cultivators frowned and pulled long faces. The cultivators of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan said nothing at all. They just locked down Shui Ao. It was clear that if the Snow Clan dared attack Lin Feng, they would kill Shui Ao. They were saying to the Snow Clan, "Try and dare us." An invisible and intangible energy oppressed the members of the Snow Clan. They all hated Yan Di. However, they also couldn't help but admire his courage. They didn't dare attack Lin Feng. The Celestial Evolution Holy Clan had definitely offended the Snow Clan already, and would also definitely settle accounts with them at some point. They couldn't resort to saints either. The Snow Clan wouldn't do anything as long as the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan didn't kill their people. They couldn't gamble with Shui Ao's life to kill Lin Feng. The situation was chaotic, and they couldn't do much. The other strong cultivators started moving and stepped towards Lin Feng. However, the Holy Spirit Dynasty's cultivators moved closer to Lin Feng to protect him. The Holy Spirit Dynasty can't protect everyone today, said Empress Shi icily. She was beautiful, calm, and aloof. The cultivators around her also took a step towards Lin Feng. They were putting more pressure on Lin Feng. The silhouettes of cultivators flickered back and forth. The Holy Spirit Dynasty's strong cultivators moved closer to Lin Feng and faced the members of the Moon Palace. Yan Di had said it was important to protect Lin Feng from the Moon Palace. A graceful silhouette appeared and stood behind Lin Feng. Lin Feng's eyes glittered as he turned around. He was startled to see who it was. The woman was wearing a black cloak and had a veil on her face, standing there calmly. So she's extremely strong, thought Lin Feng, when he sensed her energies. Her qi was incredible. He was very surprised. The Holy Spirit Dynasty had matched him with a very powerful woman. She looked gentle and sad, but actually she was incredibly strong. The pressure was incredible. It was almost as if time had stopped. Even the wind had stilled down. So many strong cultivators had gathered here, a great war would be tragic. Such military formations were rare in Chi Tian Holy Town. It was the first time in over 100 years. The strong cultivators who had come from far away were cautious, and didn't dare get too close. They stayed well in the distance. If all these terrifying cultivators started fighting, they'd also sense something. Finally, a sharp qi sprang out. Someone took a step forwards. However, the crowd was surprised because it wasn't a strong cultivator, it was a cultivator of the top of the Huang Qi layer, Wang Jian. Someone needed to take the first step, and that person was Wang Jian. Lin Feng turned his head and regarded Wang Jian calmly. He had been waiting for those cultivators to make the first step. Would they dare attack him? Everybody was extremely vigilant. Wang Jian had come out, and he could kill Lin Feng because he was a cultivator of the Huang Qi layer like Lin Feng. Wang Jian was a genius of the Dark Night region. He controlled weapon Dao. His attacks were deadly. Wang Jian released sharp energies. The wind soughed and began to moan. The other strong cultivators remained motionless. Nobody else attacked. No matter what, Lin Feng had to die today. So many people had gathered, they all wanted something from Lin Feng. At Wang Jian's back, a gigantic spear appeared and pointed at Lin Feng. A terrifying qi appeared, a strong wind of intent streaming from it. Die, shouted Wang Jiao explosively, and the gigantic spear drove towards Lin Feng. The golden lights streaked across the sky. Nobody knew how the situation was going to evolve. But the members of the dynasties and the ancient clans knew one thing: Lin Feng had to die. Chapter 2046, Killing and Absorbing. At Lin Feng's back, a gigantic sword appeared and pointed at the sky. Lin Feng stretched his hand and his gigantic sword sped to meet the gigantic spear. They collided hard enough to start a windstorm. Lin Feng took flight as a holy spirit appeared around him. He condensed wind strength to accelerate. Wang Jian grunted icily. He looked at Lin Feng and flashed forwards. Another flying spear appeared behind him, and at the same time, a blood spear appeared in his hand and armor appeared on his body. He wanted to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng's eyes went all black. Holy spirits materialized all around him. He punched out, a Devamara Kulpa holy spirit appearing around his fist. He had learned how to condense that holy spirit after becoming a high-level emperor. Lin Feng's fist was black and filled with explosive lightning. Lin Feng punched the flying spear and it exploded. The crowd remained silent, just watching and not getting involved. Their hearts were all pounding, though. Wang Jian's weapon Dao was impressive, his weapons explosive. But now Lin Feng had become a high-level emperor and he could destroy Wang Jian's weapons by simply punching them. Lin Feng's physical strength had become even more unbelievable. All those people wanted Lin Feng to die. He had been on the Holy Way stage, he was extremely talented. If they didn't kill him now, he would pose a threat to them in the future. Wang Jian saw Lin Feng charge towards him. A sharp death sword flashed towards him even faster. Sharp weapon qi rose up in the air, as Wang Jian turned into a gigantic cauldron. He could release any kind of weapon, offensive or defensive, and his weapons were almost indestructible. Lin Feng released Death Dao Intent. Wang Jian's weapons also contained soul strength. Lin Feng sighed in admiration. Wang Jian was really talented, and his Dao Intent was incredible. He was extremely strong. Who was stronger between him and Zhuo Qing, who had the diamond indestructible king-type body? Lin Feng waved his hand and ancient imprints appeared all around him. Their invisible and intangible strength surrounded Wang Jian. The ancient imprints looked like other worlds. He couldn't escape. A blade appeared in Wang Jian's hands, he raised his hands and a powerful force filled the air. The incredible strength condensed and turned into an azure dragon, which roared out defiantly. Lacerate. The air howled around the dragon, it was able to cut anything. It broke free from the world of the living imprints. Wang Jian's weapons were indeed dangerous. However, after the world of the living imprints broke apart, Wang Jian saw a terrifying gigantic sword streak across the sky towards him. It seemed to contain all sorts of strength, including cursing strength. That sword had the level of the top of the Huang Qi layer, and could even kill ordinary great emperors. Wang Jian's armor glowed with power. At the same time, he also took out another powerful blade, which lit up in his hand. The sword arrived and destroyed the blade he raised to stop it, before continuing on, unimpeded. An ancient shield appeared in front of Wang Jian, but it was immediately cut into two and then exploded. Kacha. The sound was subtle, almost quiet. The sword cut into Wang Jian and through his armor. Qi exploded, and he was driven away, blood splashing as his clothes were torn apart. What a terrifying defense! Thought those watching. They were also astonished by Lin Feng's attack. His attacks were murderous. He had progressed a lot, and faster than Wang Jian. Wang Jian was already at the top of the Huang Qi layer, he was going to become a great emperor sooner or later. Lin Feng was different though. When he was a medium-level emperor, he was already extremely strong, and he still had some ways to go before becoming a great emperor. Lin Feng was extremely talented. The fighting abilities between cultivators of the same level were wide-ranging, and the difference could be gigantic. Differences in terms of spells, talent, and so on could be substantial. If Lin Feng had been at the very top of the Huang Qi layer too, he would have destroyed Wang Jian, even though he was also a genius. Wang Jian could only look at Lin Feng. He couldn't compete with him. Lin Feng kept destroying his weapons. The previous time he had fought against Lin Feng had still been a medium-level emperor. Die, shouted Wang Jian explosively. He condensed terrifying weapon intent, and shot it towards Lin Feng's head. However, a demon appeared to protect Lin Feng's brain. At the same time, Lin Feng condensed a sword Holy Spirit to merge into his body. He looked like a sword which could cut apart the universe. Wang Jian calmed down when he saw that. A 10,000 weapons pattern appeared behind him, his whole body turned into a sharp weapon. Weapon energies gathered around him. Lin Feng raised his hands, terrifying and sharp sword qi began to vibrate and hum. His body turned into a terrifying sword, and his soul into an indestructible sword. Desolate and ancient qi filled the air. The energies blotted out the sky. Lin Feng started advancing, condensing force in his feet, each step was more and more powerful. That sharp sword felt like the last thing in the world. The crowd was nervous. Lin Feng was using the ancient holy techniques again, and he had become much stronger than the previous time, when he had killed Prince Yan. Wang Jian was shocked and going crazy. He controlled weapon techniques, he had a weapon soul, he understood weapon Dao, he was a king of weapons, and his weapons were incredibly sharp. However, Lin Feng's sword attack seemed better than his weapons. How could the king of weapons lose against someone else's weapon? Wang Jian continued advancing, his 10,000 weapons vibrating ever faster, and everything towards Lin Feng. The ground was shaking as if it were about to collapse. However, the gigantic sword broke the 10,000 weapons. When it neared him, he had already lost much of his power. He was oppressed. Oh no! Wang Jian felt hopeless. This was a holy technique, an oppressive holy technique. His attacks could kill great emperors, but Lin Feng could oppress him using holy techniques. He was going to die. A terrifying qi surrounded him. Wang Jian, great imperial weapon, shouted someone loudly. However, the gigantic sword was already descending from the sky, and Wang Jian was under too much pressure. He had the impression he was going to suffocate. He did all he could to protect himself as quickly as possible, the air exploding with his resistance. The gigantic sword crashed on him, and he shook violently, his weapon body breaking apart. Die! People from Wang Jian's clan surged forwards, but there were cultivators from the Holy Spirit dynasty in the sky to intercept them, protecting Lin Feng. Lin Feng returned to human form. He punched Wang Jian in the head, but Wang Jian's head didn't explode. A terrifying absorbing strength appeared around Lin Feng. 9 dragons appeared and absorbed Wang Jian. The weapon pattern was also absorbed immediately. Even Wang Jian's head was devoured. Die, die, the cultivators from Wang Jian's clan went insane when they saw the genius of their clan get killed like that. Lin Feng's soul was trembling, and a terrifying strength moved towards his head. He was being pushed down, but he kept his cool. A strong wind blew the pressure away as another cultivator protected Lin Feng. The ground shook violently. Finally, a great battle was about to burst out. They had chosen Wang Jian to fight against Lin Feng. No matter the winner, the results would have been terrifying in any case. Now, Lin Feng had won, he had killed Wang Jian, and the members of Wang Jian's clan were furious. A great war is starting, blurted out someone in the distance. They had never seen such a terrifying gathering of strong cultivators. Lin Feng looked at all those cultivators, he looked furious and said, "You will all regret trying to kill me." "Old buddy, protect me," said Lin Feng, then he jumped forwards, and landed on the ground, a crater appeared, a mysterious strength appeared and surrounded him. The members of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan jumped into the crater to protect Lin Feng. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.